Welcome to Zarpado, to an hour of fun facts. Before we start, like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss any fun facts. Let's begin right now. Snakes shed their entire skin all at once because their outer layer is made of rigid keratin and does not stretch like human skin. When they grow and gain weight, they no longer fit inside their own body, so they need to get rid of the whole suit in one go. The most impressive part is that this process also helps them remove all the parasites, mites, and ticks that had built up on their body. The pelican eel has such a gigantic mouth that it can swallow prey almost its own size in the total darkness of the ocean. It lives at depths of 1,640 to 9,840 feet, where light never reaches. Its jaw works like a flexible net to catch any food in a place where food is extremely scarce. Its tail ends like a whip and emits glowing flashes to attract prey in the dark. Google has a policy where if an employee dies, their partner receives 50% of their annual salary every year for 10 years. Children receive $1,000 per month until age 19 or 23 if they are studying. All stock options are immediately transferred to the heirs. This policy covers every level, from junior engineers to executives, and includes free financial and legal advice for families. In the vacuum of space, two pieces of clean metal weld themselves together when they touch in a phenomenon called cold welding. It happens because there is no oxygen to create the oxidation layer that normally separates metals. The atoms from one piece do not recognize they belong to another and instantly bond together. Astronauts have to coat all their tools with protective layers to stop them from sticking to the space station. The pen you use every day was born in Argentina in 1943, when Laszlo Biro patented the biro. Years later, the French businessman Marcel Bitch perfected the steel ball with precision measured in thousandths of a millimeter. And in 1950, the iconic Bic Cristal was born. By 2006, more than 100 billion units had been sold, making it the best-selling pen in history. The treadmill was invented in 1818 as a prison torture device by engineer William Cubitt. Prisoners were forced to walk on a giant cylinder with steps for 6 to 10 hours a day to grind grain or pump water. It destroyed so many joints that it ended up being banned in the 19th century for being considered an excessively cruel and inhumane punishment. All giant pandas in the world legally belong to China, even if they live in foreign zoos. They are loaned through panda diplomacy agreements that cost around $1 million per year per pair. If a cub is born, the zoo pays between $400,000 and $600,000 additional dollars for conservation programs. This system allows China to control the breeding and protection of the species worldwide. Dry ice does not melt but disappears, going directly from solid to gas in a process called sublimation. It is made of solid carbon dioxide and produces that striking white smoke without leaving any residue. It is used to preserve food, transport vaccines, clean machinery with cryogenic techniques, and create special effects in movies and concerts. It is literally ice that vanishes into the air. Mice fear cats even if they have never seen one because their fear is programmed into their biology. It all comes down to a protein found in feline saliva that, when detected by the mouse's vomeronasal organ, triggers an immediate panic response. This evolutionary mechanism works like a biological alarm that makes them run away even before the predator appears, as if their body sensed danger before their mind does. It turns out you can get burned worse in the snow than at the beach, even without feeling heat. Fresh snow reflects up to 90% of ultraviolet rays, while sand only reflects between 10 and 15%. You receive radiation from above and below at the same time. On top of that, the cold and wind numb the skin, making you unaware of the burn until it is already serious. A company called Reflect Orbital wants to sell sunlight at night using a constellation of satellites with giant mirrors that redirect sunlight from space toward dark areas. They propose an app where you could select your location and request sunlight for a certain amount of time on demand. Their main goal is not to light cities, but to allow solar farms to keep generating energy even after sunset. A garbage truck works thanks to a hydraulic system capable of exerting forces of up to 30,000 pounds that crushes and compresses waste into dense layers. The interior is made from high-strength steel, and many models include drainage for corrosive leachate. Thanks to this system, a single truck can reduce the volume of trash by up to 5 times, making daily collection in cities far more efficient. Fungi from the genus Ophiocordyceps turn insects into zombies in a terrifying way. Their spores fall onto the insect, penetrate its body, feed on its tissues, and take control of its nervous system. They force the host to climb to a high place where they kill it and begin growing from its head to spread new spores. This real phenomenon has inspired scientific research and famous video games. The Harley-Davidson Blue Edition has a value close to $1,900,000 and features more than 360 embedded diamonds and gold-plated parts. It was created in 2018 not for racing but to impress, serving as a mix of engineering, art, and extreme luxury. Its engine has internal lighting, and its blue paint was created exclusively for this one-of-a-kind model. The Natural History Museum houses more than 80 million specimens and has a suspended blue whale skeleton in the air, measuring 82 feet, called Hope. Opened in 1881 inside a majestic Victorian building, it preserves fundamental collections related to Charles Darwin. One of its most surprising aspects is that general admission is completely free. Commercial airplanes fly between 30,000 and 42,000 feet because at that altitude, the thin air reduces friction and saves fuel. Dense clouds and storms are avoided, reducing turbulence. If a failure happens, the extra altitude gives more time to react. Pilots also take advantage of jet streams, fast winds that push the plane while reducing flight time and fuel consumption. Bubble wrap was invented by accident in 1957 when 2 engineers were trying to create decorative wallpaper for walls. The idea failed as decoration, but they discovered those bubbles were perfect for protecting fragile objects. In the 1960s, IBM started using it to protect computers during shipping, and today it is one of the most widely used packaging materials in the world. The maned wolf is neither a fox nor a wolf, but a unique species, the largest canid in South America. It has extremely long legs, reddish fur, and a black mane that stands up when it feels threatened. It can measure more than 3 feet long, and although it looks like a fierce predator, it is omnivorous. It is solitary, shy, and almost always active at night in the grasslands of Brazil, Paraguay, Bolivia, and Argentina. When you perform CPR, you literally become another person's artificial heart. Every compression forces blood to keep reaching the brain, where neurons begin dying in just 3 to 5 minutes without oxygen. High-quality resuscitation can double or triple the chances of survival. You are not directly saving the person's life, you are preventing it from being lost before help arrives. The frigate bird can remain in the air for up to 10 straight days without landing thanks to its enormous wingspan compared to its weight. Males have an inflatable red pouch that they blow up like a giant balloon to attract mates. The most surprising thing is that they can sleep while flying and steal food from other birds in midair. Their feathers are not completely waterproof, which is why they rarely touch the water. In Switzerland, there are almost no conventional landfills because they recycle so much that only between 0 and 1% of their waste ends up buried. 53% is recycled directly, and the rest is incinerated in plants that generate electricity and heating. Practically 100% of urban waste is reused, turning garbage into a useful energy source. The Vasa was an imposing Swedish ship that sank on its maiden voyage on August 10, 1628. After traveling barely 4,265 feet, it had too many cannons on top and not enough weight at the base, which made it unstable. A simple gust of wind was enough to sink it. It remained underwater for more than 300 years until it was recovered almost intact in 1961. The Stockholm Metro is known as the longest art gallery in the world, with more than 68 miles of artistic tunnels. Since the 1950s, more than 150 artists have transformed the stations into murals, sculptures, and mosaics. The art is not in separate galleries but part of the daily commute. A simple trip to work becomes a unique cultural experience underground. The tanuki, or Japanese raccoon dog, fools anyone with its raccoon-like appearance, despite having no relation to raccoons. It is the only canid that hibernates, and it can also climb trees, something extremely rare in its family. When it feels threatened, it plays dead to deceive predators. In Japan, it is a legendary figure with supposed magical powers and a symbol of good luck in business. The cigarette was not created by scientists, but by beggars in Seville, who in the 15th century collected leftover tobacco discarded by the rich and wrapped it in paper. Over time, the industry saw the potential to create a cheap and addictive product from that street practice. That is how the cigarette was born, not as an elegant invention, but as a cheap solution born from necessity that eventually became a global habit. In India, there are wells called Bayori that look like inverted labyrinths, built since the 9th century to store rainwater. Some reach 13 levels deep and more than 3,500 steps, forming perfectly symmetrical geometry. Besides their practical purpose, they served as social gathering places and religious ritual sites, creating a unique blend of engineering and community life. A tower crane can raise itself while building a skyscraper thanks to a hydraulic self-climbing system. When the building grows, a cage lifts the upper part of the mast, creating a space where a new section is inserted that the same crane lifts. Thanks to this system, they can easily exceed 656 feet in height and become the backbone of modern skyscrapers. The panther chameleon does not change color to hide. That is a myth. Its skin is filled with microscopic crystals called iridophores that change depending on temperature and mood. If it is cold, it becomes dark to absorb more sunlight. If a male sees a rival or wants to impress a female, it tightens its skin, reflecting neon red and yellow colors like a glowing warning sign. Solar panels work worse in extreme heat, contrary to what many people believe. Excessive heat overstimulates the silicon electrons, degrading the panel's efficiency. The perfect climate for a solar panel is not the Sahara Desert, but a sunny yet incredibly cold day like in the Swiss Alps. More sunlight with less heat is the ideal combination for generating clean energy. Many buses have the engine in the back to allow a low and completely flat floor that makes access easier for passengers with reduced mobility. This configuration reduces noise in the driver's cabin, improves weight distribution over the rear wheels, and allows access to the engine without interfering with passengers. It is a key design feature in modern city buses where accessibility and efficiency are the priority. Ayani Kari is an Iranian decorative art that covers walls and ceilings with thousands of mirror fragments carved into geometric and floral patterns. It emerged when imported mirrors arrived broken in Persia, and artisans transformed the damaged pieces into shining surfaces. It became a distinctive feature of palaces and mosques where light multiplies thousands of times, creating the sensation of being inside an infinite space. The Angkor complex in Cambodia covers more than 154 square miles of temples, canals, and reservoirs, making it the largest archaeological zone on the planet. At its peak, it may have extended to 386 square miles, possibly the largest pre-industrial city in history. Its water management system was an advanced network of canals and reservoirs that supported an enormous population in the middle of the jungle. General anesthesia acts directly on the brain, reducing its activity until it leaves you unconscious, blocking communication between the body and the brain. It alters how neurons function, preventing them from communicating with each other, so pain may be generated but is never perceived. Meanwhile, vital functions such as breathing and the heart continue being controlled by the medical team. The Oculus World Trade Center in New York City cost more than $3.7 billion, making it the most expensive transportation station ever built. Designed by Santiago Calatrava as a symbol of peace after the September 11th attacks, its shape resembles a bird being released into flight. The high cost was due to its complex engineering and the difficulty of building in an area with active underground infrastructure. The Austrian bodybuilder Helmut Strebel reached levels close to 3% body fat, an extremely rare condition even among professional athletes. While others only maintained that level for days before a competition, he sustained it for long periods thanks to strict discipline and uncommon genetics. Experts point out that such low percentages are risky because the body needs fat for hormonal and energy functions. The Tibet to Contouado in Canada is the longest ice road on the planet with more than 348 miles, built up to 87% over frozen lakes. Every winter, it is created from scratch when the ice reaches enough thickness for heavy trucks. It only exists 60 to 70 days a year. When spring arrives, the ice melts, and the road disappears completely. In Cambodia, there is a project to build 84,000 Buddha statues at the Wat Put Kiri Pagoda, representing the 84,000 teachings of the Dharma. Visitors must climb 199 barefoot steps to reach the main statue. Currently, there are just over 20,000 statues, and the monks continue adding new ones. Everything began in 2017 with only 4 monks. Garrett Morgan introduced the third traffic light signal, the yellow caution light, after witnessing a serious accident between a car and a carriage in Cleveland. Because of the racism of the era, he had to hire white actors to present his inventions to investors. He also created the safety hood, precursor to the gas mask, which he used in 1916 to rescue workers trapped in a tunnel filled with toxic gases. The Andean condor can fly for more than 5 straight hours without flapping its wings a single time, surfing thermal currents with a wingspan of up to 10.8 feet. It is the largest non-marine flying bird in the world, and its aerodynamic efficiency is comparable to that of a perfect glider. It travels up to 106 miles without a single flap, barely using energy while patrolling the Andean skies. Oxmal in Mexico is one of the most sophisticated Mayan cities, declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. It stands out for the Puuc architectural style, with carved geometric mosaics and masks of the rain god. The Pyramid of the Magician and the Nunnery Quadrangle are masterpieces of Mayan art. It reached its greatest splendor between the years 600 and 1000 after Christ. Pistachios can spontaneously catch fire if they are stored in large quantities inside poorly ventilated containers. Their high fat and oil content combined with low water content allows them to self-heat until combustion begins. Maritime transport of pistachios has strict fire safety regulations, treating them almost like hazardous material. It is one of those facts that sounds impossible but is completely documented. To brake during landing, an airplane combines 3 systems simultaneously. Reverse thrust redirects air from the engines forward. Spoilers eliminate lift, forcing the plane onto its wheels. And carbon brakes with anti-lock systems withstand extreme temperatures. In this way, hundreds of tons are stopped within seconds by transforming the enormous landing energy into controlled heat and friction. In Thailand, there is a 344-foot-tall temple built completely from wood without a single metal nail. The Sanctuary of Truth uses teak, mahogany, and other local woods with traditional assembly techniques. It has no electricity and is illuminated only by natural light reflecting off the wood. It combines elements of Buddhism, Hinduism, and other Asian traditions into a visual and spiritual experience. The Predjama Castle in Slovenia is built inside the mouth of a cave on a 404-foot cliff and holds the Guinness record as the largest cave castle in the world. With more than 800 years of history, it has secret passageways that allowed escapes during sieges. Its owner, the Knight Erasmo of Predjama, resisted a siege for months thanks to hidden tunnels that gave him access to food from the mountain. The beach of Reynisfjara in Iceland has completely black sand formed by lava that cooled and eroded for thousands of years until it became fine basalt. The landscape includes enormous basalt columns, natural caves, and spectacular sea stacks. But it is also known for its sneaker waves, unexpected and so powerful that they can drag people into the sea without warning. The Emperor Tamarin gets its name from its long white mustache, similar to that of German Emperor Wilhelm II. It has a matriarchal structure where the female reproduces and the males carry the babies almost all the time. They groom each other and even arrange their companions' mustaches to strengthen social bonds. They form alliances with other monkey species to detect predators together. The mural El Agua, Origen de la Vida by Diego Rivera was designed to remain submerged underwater inside the Carcamo de Dolores in Mexico City. Opened in 1951 to celebrate the Lerma system, it integrated art, science, and water into one experience. Today, the tank remains dry to preserve the work, but it is still a place where engineering and art unite in a unique way. The Hadza language, spoken by fewer than 1,500 people in Tanzania, is considered one of the hardest languages in the world to transcribe. It has no writing system, and researchers use special phonetic symbols to represent its clicking sounds. When the first anthropologists heard it, they thought their recordings had technical failures, when in reality those were the language's normal sounds. The Library of the Abbey of St. Gall in Switzerland houses 170,000 volumes and 2,100 medieval manuscripts, 400 of them more than 1,000 years old. Declared a World Heritage Site in 1983, it stands out for ceilings with frescoes and Baroque moldings. It preserves the Plan of St. Gall, the only architectural plan on parchment from the 9th century, showing how a perfect monastery was imagined. People with psychopathic traits have an almost non-existent chance of catching a yawn because they lack real empathy. When you see someone yawn, your brain forces you to imitate it through empathy and subconscious social bonding. Psychiatric studies have confirmed this correlation. An act as simple as yawning works as a biological indicator of a person's empathic capacity. The blackwater diver from Mexico City, Julio Cesar Quamara, dives into sewers and wastewater to carry out repairs that prevent flooding for millions of people. He works with zero visibility in extremely dangerous conditions using sealed equipment and special training. Because of the unique nature of his work, he is considered the only known professional blackwater diver in the world. The Tibetan sky burial called Jatur consists of offering the deceased person's body to vultures as a final act of generosity and detachment. The body is viewed only as a temporary vessel in Tibetan Buddhism. It also has a practical origin, because on the plateaus of Tibet, the ground is frozen and wood for cremations is scarce. If the vultures consume the body completely, it is considered a good omen. The Australian lyrebird can perfectly imitate car alarms, cameras, and even chainsaws thanks to its extremely flexible vocal organ. It does not only imitate other birds, but any sound it repeatedly hears in its environment. In captivity or near urban areas, they absorb mechanical sounds and reproduce them with terrifying accuracy. They have the most complex vocal system in the animal kingdom. Seagulls use a psychological trap to hunt worms by rapidly stomping on grass. They imitate the vibration of rain hitting the ground, and the worms come to the surface believing it is raining so they do not drown. At that moment, the seagull eats them without having to dig. It is a fascinating example of animal deception to obtain food with minimal effort. The emu can run at almost 31 miles per hour, and its real danger is not in its beak, but in its powerful clawed legs that can cause deep cuts. Curiously, the male takes care of incubating the eggs and raising the chicks, remaining for weeks with almost no food. If an emu stretches itself and puffs up the feathers on its neck, it is a clear warning sign, and the best thing to do is slowly back away. Elevators are held by several steel cables where each one alone can support the full weight of the loaded cabin. If all of them were cut, the Otis safety brake triggers metal wedges that jam into the wall rails. The faster the elevator falls, the harder the brakes lock in place. It is physically impossible for a modern elevator to freefall into the void. The Galtaji Temple in Jaipur houses between 4,000 and 5,000 monkeys that freely coexist with pilgrims. Built among natural cracks in the mountains, it is important for its sacred pools where worshippers perform ritual baths. The water remains all year thanks to underground springs. Visitors must watch their belongings because the monkeys are experts at stealing shiny objects. SpongeBob SquarePants was born as a marine biology educational project created by biologist Steven Hillenburg in the 1980s. It was part of a comic called The Intertidal Zone to teach marine life. Hillenburg gave personalities to sea animals because children did not connect with creatures that barely move. Even though the series is absurd, it preserves details inspired by real biology. The Voladores de Papantla perform a pre-Hispanic ritual where four men launch themselves from more than 65 feet high, tied with ropes, spinning 13 times each. The total 52 turns represent a complete cycle of the Mesoamerican calendar. Recognized as intangible heritage by UNESCO, they keep alive a tradition more than 1,000 years old, symbolizing the connection between sky, earth, and nature. Sleeping with the door closed can save your life in a fire, according to firefighter studies. While the hallway may reach 1,000 degrees Celsius in toxic smoke, inside the closed room the temperature stays below 104 degrees Fahrenheit. A simple wooden door acts as a thermal barrier that can make the difference between life and death during the time needed for rescue. The sanctuary of Covadonga in Spain is carved inside a cave that seems to hang above a waterfall. According to tradition, King Pelayo took refuge here during the Battle of 722, considered the beginning of the Reconquista. Beneath the cave are the famous 7 fountains where tradition says that whoever drinks from their streams will marry within less than a year. The Speyside cooperage in Scotland repairs between 350 and 400 barrels daily for the whiskey industry. Whiskey gets much of its flavor, color, and aroma from the wood where it ages. Many barrels are dismantled, burned on the inside, and rebuilt to continue being used for decades. Without this artisanal work, the character of Scottish whiskey simply would not exist. The giant Pacific octopus has 3 hearts, 9 brains, and blue blood because it uses copper instead of iron to transport oxygen. Without a single bone, it can compress its body to squeeze through any hole the size of its beak. Each arm has its own cluster of neurons that allows it to explore and grab prey autonomously without waiting for orders from the central brain. Fingerprints form through contact when the fetus touches the walls of the womb while moving. The pressure from those touches together with the amniotic fluid creates the unique ridges on the fingers. That is why identical twins have different fingerprints, because each one touches the womb walls differently. It is an unrepeatable combination of genetics and prenatal experience. On Mars, sunsets are blue, exactly the opposite of Earth. During the day, the Martian sky is reddish because of oxide dust. But when the sun sets, that dust scatters the light, allowing only blue tones around the solar disk to pass through. Space probes have photographed this alien spectacle on multiple occasions, confirming this fascinating phenomenon. The shortest commercial flight in the world operates between the Scottish islands of Westray and Papa Westray and officially lasts 90 seconds. With favorable wind, the pilot can complete it in less than 1 minute, and the record is 47 seconds. It literally takes longer to fasten your seatbelt than to reach your destination. It exists to connect the small island communities of northern Scotland. Padel was born in 1969 because a Mexican businessman in Acapulco wanted a tennis court but did not have enough space. He built a mini court but played so badly that the balls constantly ended up in the neighbor's garden. He decided to build cement walls so the ball could bounce back, and that is how modern padel was born, today the fastest growing sport in the world. Jupiter acts as Earth's bodyguard thanks to its immense gravity, which works like a cosmic vacuum cleaner. It attracts most dangerous asteroids and comets entering the solar system, taking the impacts in our place. Without the protective presence of Jupiter, life on Earth would have been wiped out by meteorites many more times throughout history. Tires are black only because of the carbon black added during manufacturing, since natural rubber is milky white. This substance not only gives color but also makes the tire exponentially more resistant to wear, heat, and ultraviolet rays. Without carbon, tires would last only a few dozen miles before completely disintegrating. Water bottles do not really expire because water that has been underground for millions of years does not rot. The expiration date refers to the plastic, which after enough time can degrade and release chemicals that change the taste. What expires is the container, not the contents. The water itself remains perfectly stable indefinitely. If you could fold a sheet of paper 42 times, its thickness would reach the moon. Every fold doubles the thickness and starting from 0.004 inches. After 42 theoretical folds, you would reach 273,000 miles, exceeding the 238,855 miles separating us from the moon. With 51 folds, you would reach the Sunday. The lighter was invented before matches. The Dobereiner lamp appeared in 1823, while friction matches did not arrive until 1826. Roller coasters only have one motor for the chain that pulls the car up the first drop. From that point onward, the 2 minutes of corkscrews, curves, and loops work exclusively through inertia and gravity. The entire ride is a conversion of potential energy into kinetic energy without any additional mechanical force pushing the car after that first climb. The anaconda does not chew but swallows prey whole, and its heart and liver literally grow in size within hours to support the metabolic effort of digesting an entire animal. It dissolves absolutely everything except hair and hooves. It is such an extreme digestion process that the snake's body temporarily transforms in order to process it. Chocolate can kill dogs because of theobromine, which humans metabolize quickly but dogs do not. It builds up in their system, causing heart problems and seizures. Dark chocolate is more dangerous than white chocolate because it contains a higher concentration of cocoa. Even small amounts represent a serious risk for pets. Giraffes and humans have exactly 7 cervical vertebrae, but each giraffe vertebra measures about 10 inches while ours are barely 1 inch. This pattern is almost universal. From mice to whales, nearly all mammals have 7 cervical vertebrae regardless of neck length. It is a fascinating evolutionary constant. Your brain consumes 20% of all the oxygen and calories you take in, even though it only represents 2% of your body weight. Even while you sleep deeply, neuronal activity generates around 20 watts of electrical energy, enough to power a standard LED bulb. It is a machine with a completely disproportionate resource consumption compared to its size. Peanuts are not nuts but legumes from the pea family. Unlike walnuts that grow on trees, the peanut plant flowers above ground but buries its own flowers so the fruit can mature underground. It is one of the most common food misconceptions since we always find them next to nuts in the supermarket. The hydrochloric acid in your stomach is so powerful that it could dissolve wood if you swallowed it. It is so corrosive that your body regenerates the stomach's mucus lining every 3 days to stop itself from digesting its own tissue. You live daily with one of the most aggressive substances in nature without even realizing it. In Seoul, the delivery system allows a driver to find you by GPS while you are sitting under a tree in a park. They bring you hot food in ceramic dishes and real metal utensils, not disposable containers. 1 hour later, the same driver returns to the park to collect the dirty dishes. It is a service that feels like science fiction. If a helicopter loses its engine in mid-flight, it does not fall like a rock thanks to auto-rotation. The pilot allows the rising air to spin the blades on their own, and when approaching the ground, changes the blade angle using the stored energy to slow down. It is an emergency landing based purely on physics without using fuel. Rats feel ticklish and emit ultrasonic sounds equivalent to laughter when you tickle their bellies. If they see that you are about to play with them, they get excited and jump with joy, seeking contact with the human hand. It proves that the ability to experience fun and pleasure is not exclusive to humans. London is technically a forest according to the United Nations definition because its tree coverage exceeds 20%. With more than 8 million trees and coverage of 21%, it is considered the largest urban forest in the world, a metropolis where trees outnumber human inhabitants. The visible pyramid of Chichen Itza is the third construction layer. Inside, there is a smaller and older pyramid, and beneath both, it was deliberately built over an underground cenote. It is a triple layer of symbolism representing the underworld, past and present, demonstrating the sophisticated symbolic planning of the Maya. Embassies of world powers have rooms built inside copper and steel boxes that function as giant Faraday cages. They prevent any radio signal or spy microphone from transmitting information outside the room. If you walk in with a phone, you go from 5 bars of signal to 0 in 1 second. It is the ultimate protection against electronic espionage. Hedgehogs are born with their spines already formed, but wrapped in a liquid-filled membrane to protect the mother during birth. A few hours after birth, the liquid is absorbed and the spines emerge outward. It is one of the most ingenious postnatal protection mechanisms in the mammal kingdom, where nature found the perfect solution to a unique problem. Manta rays are one of the few animals that recognize their own reflection in a mirror. When a mark is placed on their body, they investigate the mark on themselves, not on the reflection. Only great apes, dolphins, elephants, and magpies share this capacity for self-awareness. This places them in a very select group of animals with truly exceptional intelligence. There is a place in Budapest called the Fisherman's Bastion that looks like a fairy tale castle, but it was never a real fortress. Its name comes from the Fishermen's Guild that defended that section of the wall during the Middle Ages. It was built at the end of the 19th century as a simple luxury panoramic terrace so the rich could stroll and admire the Danube. Electric cars are almost silent because their motor burns nothing and has no pistons striking. It uses magnetic fields pushing against each other smoothly to rotate the axle. The only real friction comes from the tires against the asphalt and the wind against the body. For safety, some models emit artificial sounds to alert pedestrians of their presence. The key parrot of New Zealand is the only alpine parrot in the world and lives in the snow, but it is famous for its destructive intelligence. Working in groups, they use their sharp beaks to tear off windshield rubber, window seals, and hubcaps from tourist cars simply for fun. They are so curious that they have become a nightmare for anyone parking in the mountains. The perfect circles appearing on the ocean floor are not made by aliens but by a tiny male pufferfish. For weeks, it swims non-stop, plowing the sand with its fins to create a hypnotic geometric nest more than 6 feet wide. All this monumental effort has only one purpose: attracting the attention of a female so she will lay her eggs in the center. On airplane wings, there are small yellow hooks that almost nobody notices. If the plane has to ditch in the ocean, the wet wings become a slippery slide. Flight attendants tie a rope from the emergency door to those hooks, creating an improvised handrail so passengers can walk across the wing without falling into the water. Someone who is truly drowning does not scream or wave their arms like in movies. They experience the instinctive drowning response, silent, upright, with only their head barely above water. Lifeguards do not look for screaming people but silent faces with empty eyes sinking beneath the surface. Movies have taught us a completely false version of what real drowning looks like. The Belvedere Palace in Vienna is divided into 2 sections separated by a sloped garden where the architect used forced perspective tricks. The fountains and pathways narrow toward the top, making the upper palace appear much larger than it really is. It was psychologically designed to intimidate guests before they reach the main entrance. We age because telomeres, protective caps at the ends of our DNA, shorten every time cells divide. They work like the plastic tip on shoelaces. Over the years, it disappears, the DNA becomes damaged, and cells can no longer repair themselves. That progressive deterioration of organs is what we call old age. The island fox of California is a perfect example of island dwarfism. Its ancestors, large gray foxes, arrived on the Channel Islands thousands of years ago. Since there were no predators but food and space were limited, evolution shrank them generation after generation to use less energy. Today they are the size of a domestic cat. A cockroach without a head keeps walking and reacting. In the same way, the giant weta of New Zealand has an even more extreme superpower. During winter, its blood completely freezes, its heart stops, and it enters suspended animation. When spring arrives, it simply thaws out and keeps walking as if nothing happened. It has been on Earth since before the dinosaurs. Modern tractors are no longer really driven by humans. They use military GPS technology with an error margin of barely 0.8 inches. The driver simply sits watching screens while the machine plants and harvests a field the size of 100 football stadiums entirely on its own. The old farmer wearing a hat behind the wheel is an image from the past. In France, there is an area the size of Paris where entry has been forbidden for more than a century. After the First World War, the ground became so contaminated by lead, arsenic, mercury, and millions of unexploded bombs that the government declared the land irrecoverable. Nothing grows there, and anyone entering risks death. The whale shark protects its enormous eyelid-free eyes by covering their surface with thousands of microscopic dermal denticles. They are tooth-shaped scales that grow directly on the eyeball to shield it from attacks. It is a unique evolutionary solution to a problem that no other animal has solved this way. The Goliath frog of Africa is the size of a domestic cat and weighs more than 6 pounds. It does not make bubble nests like other frogs, but instead is so strong that it lifts and moves rocks weighing up to 4 pounds to build physical dams and rivers. This protects its tadpoles from currents using real examples of animal engineering. The microwave tray rotates because the waves create points of extreme heat and completely cold blind spots inside the appliance. If the tray did not rotate to move the food through the hot spots, you would have half the soup boiling and the other half frozen. The rotation is not a luxury but a physical necessity for the heating to be even remotely uniform. The green, yellow, orange, and red peppers in the supermarket are exactly the same plant. Green is simply the immature and bitter pepper. If you leave it on the plant for months, it becomes red and sweet. That is why the red one is always more expensive, because it takes more time and water to grow until it reaches full maturity. The 3 tiny ear bones called the hammer, anvil, and stirrup are the only bones in the body that stay exactly the same size from the moment you are born until you die. If they grew, they would alter sound frequencies and we would become deaf as we matured into adults. They remain unchanged throughout the entire human life. The saltwater crocodile has the strongest bite ever recorded, capable of exerting pressure measured in tons. However, the muscles it uses to open its jaw are so weak that a person can keep its mouth shut using only a thick rubber band. A brutal contrast between closing strength and opening weakness. Hippos are always presented as herbivores that eat grass, but they have been documented showing carnivorous and scavenging behavior. During times of scarcity, they are capable of eating zebra meat or even other hippos. This discovery completely changes our understanding of their digestive system and their territorial aggression in the water. If you do not sleep enough, brain cells called microglia begin consuming your own neural connections. It is a self-cleaning process that becomes uncontrolled from exhaustion. Your brain literally begins digesting itself due to lack of rest, which in the long term causes cognitive deterioration. Sleeping well is not a luxury, it is a biological necessity. The dynamite tree produces fruits that explode when ripe with the force of a grenade, launching seeds at 155 miles per hour and up to 148 feet away. The blast can be heard throughout the forest. It is a mechanical energy storage mechanism designed to spread its offspring as far away from the parent trunk as possible. In buildings like the Burj Khalifa, you cannot have opening windows because the air pressure is so extreme that if you opened a door on the 100th floor while a window was open, the suction effect would send objects flying outside. They use special airlocks just so residents can store belongings without them being blasted away. Your face looks different in a selfie than in a professional photo because of lens distortion. A wide-angle lens like the ones on phones makes your nose appear larger and your ears smaller. A telephoto lens compresses the image, making your face look wider and flatter. You never look exactly the same because every lens distorts differently. In restaurant menus, the product with the highest profit margin is the second cheapest wine. The owner knows you do not want to look cheap by ordering the absolute cheapest one, so you choose the second option, which is exactly the one they marked up with a much more inflated price. It is a psychological trick used worldwide in the restaurant industry. The Dracula ant has the fastest recorded animal movement on Earth, snapping its jaws at more than 198 miles per hour. The most disturbing part is its feeding behavior. Queens cannot eat solids, so they bite their own larvae to suck their blood without killing them, using them as living food storage units. Putting your phone in airplane mode while charging makes it charge significantly faster. By stopping the constant search for radio signals, GPS, and Bluetooth, which are the processes that consume the most energy, you store power more efficiently because there is no simultaneous energy drain while the battery fills. Fire trucks were not always red. In the 19th century, every station painted them different colors to distinguish themselves from rival companies. Red became popular simply because it was the cheapest paint available at the time. Today, some departments paint them yellow-green because studies show it is more visible at night. Amazon returns are sometimes destroyed because it is cheaper than inspecting them. When you return a $10 product, it costs the company more to pay someone to inspect it, clean it, and repackage it than to simply throw it away. Millions of brand new products end up in shredders every year because the logistics of reselling them are not profitable. Many modern traffic lights have acoustic sensors that detect the specific frequency of emergency sirens. When they hear them, they change every lane to red and the ambulance lane to green to clear the road before it arrives. It is an automated system that works without human intervention to save vital seconds during emergencies. The jaguar not only knows how to swim but also hunts underwater, diving into Amazon rivers to capture large fish or caimans directly in their own territory. It is a true amphibious predator that challenges the idea that felines dislike water. Its aquatic skill makes it one of the most versatile hunters on the planet. The Cologne Cathedral in Germany took more than 600 years to build and survive the bombings of the Second World War, while the entire city was left in ruins. It was not a miracle. Allied pilots had orders not to destroy it because they used its gigantic twin towers as a visual landmark to orient themselves on maps during bombing missions. Many white sand beaches at luxury resorts are not natural. Since there is not enough marine sand, companies buy mountain rocks and feed them into giant industrial crushers until they turn into powder. You are sunbathing on mechanized mountain dirt and stone made to resemble Caribbean sand. It is an industry worth millions every year. Do not use your favorite song as an alarm because you will end up hating it. Your brain quickly associates that sequence of sounds with the cortisol spike released to pull you out of deep sleep. You create a conditioned reflex, and if you hear that song on the radio at 3 in the afternoon, your body will suffer an instant micro-attack of anxiety. The Indian rhinoceros has skin divided into thick plates, separated by folds that look like metal rivets. It literally looks like a prehistoric animal wearing custom steel armor. Unlike the African rhinoceros, which has 2 horns, the Indian one only has 1. They are also excellent swimmers that move comfortably in water. Earth is smoother than a billiard ball if you reduced it to that size. The rules of the World Billiards Championship would say, our planet is too smooth. Mount Everest and the Mariana Trench would be microscopic imperfections that your finger could not even feel while touching the surface. It is pure scale illusion that makes us believe the planet is rough. The lines on escalator steps are not there to prevent slipping. At the end of the escalator, there is a metal comb plate whose teeth fit perfectly into those grooves. If the steps were smooth, stones, trash, and shoelaces would get trapped underneath and destroy the central motor. The grooves are a mechanical safety barrier. Lilies are extremely toxic to cats. Simply licking a bit of their pollen or drinking water from the vase they are in can cause kidney failure within days. It is a very common plant in bouquets and gardens, and the worst part is that many owners have absolutely no idea that having this flower at home can be a death sentence for their pet. The babirusa of Indonesia has upper tusks that grow upward, piercing the skin of its own snout and curving backward toward its eyes. If the male does not find hard trees to rub against and wear them down daily, its own tusks eventually pierce its skull slowly. It is one of the most extreme cases of evolutionary self-injury in the animal kingdom. What you call a daisy is actually a bouquet of flowers in disguise. The yellow center is made up of hundreds of tiny tubular flowers. Every white petal you pull off while playing Loves Me Not is botanically a complete and independent flower. It belongs to the composite family and is a visual trick of nature. At a car dealership, every vehicle has its front wheels perfectly straight and the steering wheel logo aligned. You will never see the wheels turn sideways. It is an aggressive visual trick that makes the car look ready to launch forward with you behind the wheel, unconsciously increasing the customer's impulse to buy without them realizing it. Aircraft carriers housing more than 5,000 people do not have locks on cabin doors or common rooms. In case of attack, fire, or flooding, every second matters. Emergency teams must be able to access any corner of the ship instantly without searching for keys or breaking down doors. Extreme safety takes priority over privacy. Chinese characters are a logographic system where each character represents words instead of individual sounds. Formed by radicals that provide meaning, they can contain from just a few to dozens of complex strokes. They are one of the oldest writing systems still in active use in the world. Their visual structure is extraordinarily rich and has influenced multiple Asian cultures. Artist Alexei Sergeyenko created a throne with $1 million made from real $100 bills. Presented in 2015, the artwork has bundles protected by transparent acrylic against deterioration. Its design resembles royal thrones, mocking how money becomes a symbol of power. It invites reflection on the excessive influence of capital in society. United States bills are made from cotton and linen with watermarks and anti-counterfeit security threads. Each denomination features a historical portrait and iconic buildings in a uniform green and black design. They include color-changing inks and microprinting to prevent sophisticated counterfeiting. They are one of the most recognizable and widely used currencies in the world. Adam is a barista robot that prepares coffee from grinding to pouring with precision robotic arms. It uses artificial intelligence to replicate the techniques of a human barista with perfect consistency every time. It operates the espresso machine, steamer, and grinder completely autonomously and efficiently. It represents a fascinating innovation in the automation of the food service industry. Ash Wednesday marks the beginning of Lent with ashes placed on the foreheads of the faithful. The ashes come from burned Palm Sunday palms from the previous year as a symbol of penance. The words "remember that you are dust, and to dust you shall return" are spoken during the ceremony. It is a reminder of human fragility and the inevitability of death. Being a panda nanny requires feeding cubs with special milk and constantly monitoring their health every day. Pandas need permanent attention, especially when they are small and defenseless cubs in conservation programs. This job combines animal tenderness with the scientific responsibility of preserving an endangered species. It is one of the cutest and most specialized jobs in the world. In mines in South Africa, metallic spheres with perfect grooves approximately 3 billion years old were discovered. They are so symmetrical that they challenge any conventional geological explanation known to current science. The scientific community is divided between extraordinary natural formations and evidence of unknown intelligence. The question about their origin still has no definitive answer to this day. The Caterpillar D11T is one of the largest bulldozers in the world, with 850 horsepower. Designed for mining and heavy construction, it moves large volumes of material with impressive efficiency. It has automatic transmission, advanced electronic controls, and a cab with integrated vibration reduction. It provides comfort to the operator during long workdays in extreme conditions. The subdermal contraceptive implant is a flexible rod placed under the skin of the female arm. It releases hormones that prevent ovulation with effectiveness greater than 99%. It protects against pregnancy for 3 to 5 years without the need for additional daily intervention. Its placement and removal are simple procedures performed during quick outpatient appointments. Downhill mountain biking races descend steep terrain with rocks, roots, and jumps at high speed. The bicycles are sturdy with long suspension systems that absorb impacts from violent, uneven terrain. It demands exceptional technical skill and considerable bravery to face slopes that challenge human limits. It is one of the most extreme and exciting disciplines in professional cycling. The Burnlap speaker incorporates a ferrofluid that responds to music by creating hypnotic, dynamic visual patterns. A magnet connected to an Arduino board modulates the magnetic field according to the reproduced sound waves. The casing was three-dimensional printed, creating a unique and futuristic design for the speaker. It is an audio-visual experience where music literally comes to life before your eyes. Walt Disney wanted to build Epcot, a real futuristic city with advanced technology and automated transportation. It would have been a community with radial design, domes, and monorails connecting all residential and commercial zones. Disney died before making it a reality, but the concept inspired the theme park that carries its name. His vision of a city of tomorrow continues to fascinate urban planners and dreamers. Marble is a metamorphic rock formed by recrystallization of calcium carbonate with a shiny and translucent appearance. Its variety of colors and veins depends on the minerals present in its geological composition. It is highly valued in architecture, sculpture, and interior design because of its elegance and durability. Although resistant, it is porous and susceptible to stains, requiring periodic maintenance. Breast milk is a highly nutritious liquid rich in proteins, fats, vitamins, and essential antibodies. It adapts to the needs of the baby as the child grows, changing its composition from colostrum to mature milk. It provides the essential nutrients for growth, development, and strengthening of the infant immune system. It is easily digestible and considered the perfect natural food for newborns. The surgical stapler applies titanium staples to close incisions faster than traditional suturing methods. It minimizes tissue damage and significantly reduces closure time during complex surgical procedures. There are linear, circular, and skin types, each designed for specific medical applications. It is a fundamental tool in modern surgeries because of its efficiency and precision. Tomoko Sato is a Japanese artist who transforms fruits and vegetables into highly complex edible sculptures. Inspired by the Thai carving art known as Kai Saluk, she perfected the technique in Thailand. Her works include geometric patterns and floral designs carved into apples, watermelons, and radishes. She lives in Kyoto, where she teaches classes and continues developing her culinary art. Mexican beer is globally recognized with iconic brands such as Corona, Victoria, Pacifico, and Negra Modelo. Lager-style beers dominate, light and easy to drink, although stronger options also exist. Mexico is home to some of the largest breweries in the world, such as Grupo Modelo and Heineken Mexico. Its brewing history dates back to the colonial era and continues growing globally. Onigiri is a Japanese rice food shaped like a ball or triangle wrapped in nori seaweed. It is filled with fish, pickles, or vegetables and seasoned with salt to improve flavor and preservation. It is very versatile and practical, consumed as a snack or as part of a complete main meal. Its portability makes it ideal to carry and eat anytime. Pareidolia causes us to see faces or figures in random stimuli such as clouds or ink stains. The brain seeks to interpret sensory information based on previous experiences stored in memory. It is common to see faces in everyday objects or hear words in meaningless sounds. It reflects the human tendency to find order in the chaos around us. The stars we see are not where they appear because their light took years or millennia to reach us. Some may have exploded long before their light reached Earth. The night sky is a window into the cosmic past of the universe, visible from our planet. Every point of light tells a story that may be thousands of years old. Russia created a spy device called the Thing that operated for 7 years hidden inside the United States Embassy. It had no battery or transmitters of its own and activated only with external signals sent by spies. It was hidden inside a wooden shield, transmitting secret information without being detected. It demonstrated unprecedented ingenuity in the history of international espionage. In the heart of Hanoi, Vietnam, there is a drink that surprises people both because of its flavor and its history: egg coffee. It was born out of necessity during the post-war period, when milk was scarce and replaced with whipped egg yolk until creamy, mixed with condensed milk and Robusta coffee. The result is a kind of liquid dessert reminiscent of tiramisu, smooth, sweet, and with a deeply intense flavor. The pyramids of Egypt continue to be an enigma for modern engineering. With stone blocks weighing several tons, the ancient Egyptians achieved precise astronomical alignments and millimeter-perfect fittings so exact that not even a razor blade fits between some stones. The most astonishing part is that they accomplished this without modern technology, using copper tools and without knowledge of the wheel. Imagine a city so vast that it functions like an entire province. That is Chongqing in southwestern China, with a population exceeding 30 million inhabitants. Its territory includes mountains, rivers, and dozens of districts, making it a true state within the country. Its location along the Yangtze River makes it a key transportation and trade hub. Although outside China, it is not as well known as Beijing or Shanghai. Corals are not plants as many believe, but tiny animals called polyps that live in large colonies and secrete calcium carbonate to form hard structures. Over time, these colonies create enormous reefs, such as the Great Barrier Reef in Australia. Some reefs have been growing for more than 10,000 years and are so large they can be seen from space. During the Renaissance, artists sought vibrant and durable pigments, but resources were scarce. To achieve unique colors, they used surprising ingredients such as fermented urine, animal blood, and even powdered Egyptian mummies believed to possess special properties. This mixture, known as mummy brown, was used for centuries in European painting. More than 2,000 years ago, the Greeks built a device so advanced that it was called the first analog computer. The Antikythera mechanism, discovered in a shipwreck in 1901, predicted eclipses, lunar phases, and planetary movements with astonishing precision. It operated with bronze gears incredibly complex for its era, demonstrating astronomical and mechanical knowledge far beyond what was believed possible in antiquity. Under certain conditions of total isolation, such as experiments conducted in caves, the human body loses all sense of time and begins creating its own internal chronology. When a person is deprived of any time reference, such as sunlight or clocks, their perception of time becomes radically distorted. Some volunteers completely lost their sense of days, developing an alternative biological clock. The Romans developed a concrete formula so resistant that many of their structures are still standing 2,000 years later. This material, composed of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater, hardened over time and resisted better than modern concrete. They built temples, aqueducts, and ports that still withstand earthquakes and erosion. And today, scientists study their formula to create more sustainable infrastructure. In ancient Greece, the word idiot was not an insult as it is today. The term was used to describe citizens who did not participate in public affairs or politics. For the Greeks, involvement in civic life was a fundamental responsibility, and those focused only on private life were viewed as people isolated from the common good. High in Cusco, the walls of Sacsayhuaman defy all logic. Stones weighing up to 120 tons fit together like pieces of a perfect puzzle without a single gram of mortar. Some have more than 12 angles and irregular shapes, yet they join with such precision that not even a sheet of paper fits between them. The Incas did not know the wheel, and even so, their engineering continues astonishing the world. Entropy is a fundamental principle indicating that everything in the universe tends toward disorder. Useful energy degrades over time. Ice melts, objects wear out, and stars die. This arrow of time pushes everything toward a final state where there will be no structures, heat, or life. Yet interestingly, within this chaos emerge patterns such as galaxies, life, and consciousness. Although it began with a violent expansion, the universe could end by collapsing into itself according to the Big Crunch theory. All the matter and energy in the cosmos would return to an infinitely dense point, like the opposite of the Big Bang. If gravity surpasses expansion energy, every galaxy, star, and atom would be dragged toward the center in a cycle of cosmic death and rebirth. In China, paper, gunpowder, the compass, and printing were invented centuries before Europe. Paper emerged in the 2nd century, facilitating the spread of knowledge. Gunpowder was initially used for fireworks. The compass enabled precise navigation long before the Renaissance, and movable type printing existed centuries before Gutenberg. This demonstrates that the history of human progress is neither linear nor Eurocentric. Neuroplasticity is the astonishing ability of the brain to adapt and reorganize itself. In some extreme medical cases, an entire hemisphere of the brain has been removed to treat severe epilepsy, and many patients have managed to develop functionally. Especially when surgery is performed during childhood, the remaining brain assumes tasks that were previously divided between both sides. In Iceland, where the population is only 370,000 people, genetic closeness between inhabitants is a real concern. To avoid accidental relationships between close relatives, a detailed genealogical registry is published every year. This book is one of the country's best sellers, and there is even an application that allows people to verify whether someone they are interested in is a close relative. In the Himalayas, at more than 16,400 feet above sea level, there is a lake called Rupkund that remains frozen for much of the year. When the ice melts during summer, it reveals hundreds of human skeletons with similar injuries. Research suggests they may have died from a deadly hailstorm more than 1,000 years ago. Although despite DNA analysis, their exact origin remains a mystery. Beneath the extreme cold of Antarctica lie more than 400 subglacial lakes that remain liquid thanks to geothermal heat despite being buried under miles of ice. One of the best known is Lake Vostok, which has been isolated for at least 15 million years. Scientists believe it could contain unique extremophile life forms never seen before. In ancient Rome, gladiators were not only warriors admired for their strength, but also symbols of desire. After the fights, some spectators collected their sweat with sponges and stored it in small jars. This bodily secretion was later sold as a powerful aphrodisiac, believed to possess magical and seductive properties in a practice that reflects the extreme fascination with these fighters. In Sumer, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, not only was cuneiform writing developed, but also a deep love for beer. On clay tablets dating back to 3000 BC, legal records have been found detailing agreements on the production, distribution, and consumption of this beverage. These contracts establish quotas, payments in barley, and rights for brewery workers. Human brains can now connect to machines that respond only to thought. Thanks to neural interfaces, people with paralysis can move robotic arms, write with their minds, or control a cursor on a screen. Companies like Neuralink are working on brain implants that could allow communication without speaking or even storing memories, bringing us closer to a fusion between biology and technology. In 1799, the Rosetta Stone was discovered in Egypt, a text written in 3 languages: hieroglyphic, Demotic, and Ancient Greek. Thanks to it, the Frenchman Jean-François Champollion managed to decipher Egyptian hieroglyphs, a mystery that had remained unsolved for centuries. Before its discovery, ancient Egyptian was a completely lost language, and this stone marked a turning point in Egyptology. In certain indigenous cultures, such as the Gugu Yimithir of Australia, the words left or right are not used. Everything is expressed in terms of north, south, east, and west, developing an extraordinary sense of orientation from childhood. A speaker of this language could say that an ant is walking southwest even while inside a closed room. Long before Europe accepted it, the Maya already used the number 0 in their mathematical system. They represented it with a specific symbol and used it to count, calculate, and organize their calendars. While in Europe, 0 was ignored or feared for philosophical reasons, the Maya adopted it as an essential tool that enabled enormous advances in astronomy and architecture. In northern Argentina, in the province of Jujuy, lies Purmamarca, a small town known for the famous Hill of 7 Colors. This natural formation dazzles with its beauty and history. Each color represents a layer of sediments from different geological eras, some up to 600 million years old. The combination of clays, limestones, and sandstones creates shades ranging from deep red to green and purple. With the CRISPR technique, scientists can edit human DNA with surgical precision. This allows genetic diseases to be corrected, but also opens the possibility of choosing traits such as eye color, height, or intelligence. While some celebrate the possibility of eradicating hereditary illnesses, others fear a world of genetically designed humans and even deeper inequalities. The Olmecs, long before the Maya or Aztecs, already observed the sky with extraordinary attention. For them, Venus was not just a bright star, but a powerful entity that marked cycles of war, harvests, and rituals. They knew its phases, appearances, and disappearances with such precision that some researchers believe they had observatories to study the heavens. In the 1960s, Walt Disney conceived an ambitious project, building a real futuristic city called Epcot, short for Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. His vision was to create a planned community integrating advanced technology, sustainability, and innovative urban design. The city would be organized in a radial layout with an urban center covered by a dome. The pistol shrimp is a marine crustacean capable of generating a jet of bubbles at high speed through the rapid closure of one of its disproportionately large claws. This mechanism creates a shock wave that reaches speeds of up to 62 miles per hour and temperatures close to 8,500 degrees Fahrenheit at its point of implosion. In addition, the generated sound can exceed 200 decibels. Some young dolphins play with pufferfish not to feed on them, but to enter an altered state of consciousness. These fish, when gently bitten, release tetrodotoxin, a substance extremely toxic in large quantities, but that in minimal doses produces hallucinogenic effects. The dolphins appear to pass the fish around as if it were a toy, swimming slowly in circles as though they were intoxicated. Mathematician Kurt Gödel proved that no logical system can prove all truths within itself. This means there will always be true statements that cannot be demonstrated using the system's own rules. It is a revolutionary idea implying that human knowledge is inherently incomplete and that the search for absolute truth may be unattainable. More than 4,000 years ago, the cities of Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa already had advanced drainage and sewage systems. Houses had private bathrooms connected to waste channels, leading to public systems. While many medieval European cities threw waste into the streets, these civilizations of the Indus Valley were already thinking about hygiene and public health with astonishing urban planning. The Mentawai tribe of Indonesia practices an ancestral custom consisting of filing their teeth into sharp points. This painful practice is not performed for conventional beauty, but as part of a spiritual ideal. According to their beliefs, sharpened teeth improve harmony between body and soul, allowing a deeper connection with nature and forest spirits. In certain deep states of meditation or spiritual rituals, some people report completely losing their individual identity. They do not feel a separate self, but rather a total fusion with their surroundings and the universe. This experience, called non-duality, has been described by mystics, monks, and explorers of consciousness throughout history, suggesting that the ego is a construction that can be deactivated. During the Cold War, Soviet scientists drilled the deepest hole ever made on Earth, the Kola Super Deep Borehole, reaching more than 7.5 miles deep. As they descended, temperatures exceeded 356 degrees Fahrenheit, and the project had to be stopped. The most disturbing aspect was the strange noises captured by experimental microphones in the depths. The James Webb Telescope has begun analyzing atmospheres of planets outside our solar system with unprecedented precision. In some cases, it has found indications of compounds such as methane, water vapor, and carbon dioxide, elements associated with biological processes. Although there is still no definitive proof of life, these discoveries bring closer the moment when we might detect an alien biosphere. There are fake hand-painted copies of the Mona Lisa so detailed that they have even confused experts during technical evaluations. In the black market of art, forgeries circulate with extremely high values, and in some cases, it is believed that even certain museums possess non-authentic versions of this masterpiece by Leonardo da Vinci. Nanobots are tiny robots on the nanometer scale, 1/1000th of a meter, designed to perform specific tasks at the microscopic level. Generally built with biocompatible materials, they can be programmed to deliver drugs precisely, eliminate cancer cells, or repair tissues at the cellular level. They also have applications in industry, electronics, and environmental cleanup. In the Middle Ages, some inventors created automatons that move using gears, water, or compressed air. These mechanisms imitated human or animal movements: birds that sang, figures that served tea, and clocks with moving characters. Although they lacked electricity, their designs were so precise that they amazed those who saw them, and many of these automatons were precursors of modern robotics. For years, it was repeated that goldfish only remembered things for 3 seconds, but recent studies have shown they can retain information for weeks or even months. They have been trained to recognize patterns, feeding schedules, and perform simple tasks. They have the ability to associate stimuli and form long-term memories, completely changing our perception of animal intelligence. In Hinduism, it is believed that the sound Om is the primordial vibration of the universe. It is not just a syllable, but a frequency representing the origin, existence, and dissolution of everything that exists. Some studies show this sound affects the brain by inducing calm and deep meditative states, turning Om into a sonic symbol of the whole that transcends religion. Earth receives mysterious signals from space known as fast radio bursts. These emissions last only milliseconds but release more energy than the sun in an entire day. The most unsettling aspect is that some repeat from the same point in the cosmos, and to this day astronomers have not determined with certainty what causes them, fueling all kinds of theories and speculation. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt were considered gods on earth, and their treatment after death had to reflect that divinity. In especially luxurious embalming rituals, aromatic oils, exotic resins, and in some cases mixtures with liquid gold were poured over the body. This procedure not only preserved the remains better, but also surrounded the deceased with an aura of purity and eternal power. In ancient Rome, there were funerary urns designed with holes and internal tubes that produced sounds when wind passed through them. These devices were intended to simulate the voice of the deceased or emit mournful sounds, creating an unsettling atmosphere during visits to tombs. Although it was a natural acoustic effect, for many Romans, it was a spiritual sign of the soul communicating with the living. The ancient Egyptians placed live scarab beetles on open wounds as a medical practice. They believed the constant movement of the insect helped remove infection and accelerate healing, while also serving as a channel to drive away spiritual evils. It was a practice where medicine was deeply connected with symbolism and the sacred. In ancient China, polished crystals were used as magnifying glasses to start fires by concentrating sunlight. Long before lighters or matches existed, these glass spheres generated enough heat to ignite dry tinder. It is even believed that some techniques included the use of convex bodies of transparent insects as natural lenses to focus the sun's rays. Turkey is the only place in the world where natural black roses grow. They are found only in the village of Halfeti in the southeastern province of Sanliurfa, near the Euphrates River. During summer, the roses appear completely black, while in other seasons they are a very dark red. This unique variety comes from the soil density and the combination of water-soluble pigments sensitive to pH. Vietnam is a silent power in the global agricultural market. It is the second largest coffee producer on the planet and the leading producer of cashews. Its Robusta coffee has a strong flavor and is the base of its famous drink with condensed milk. The country's fertile lands, especially in the Central Highlands, provide ideal conditions for these crops on which millions of small farmers depend. Australia is not only a country, but an entire continent isolated by thousands of miles of ocean. This geographic separation allowed the evolution of flora and fauna found nowhere else on the planet. Among its emblematic species are the platypus, a mammal that lays eggs and has a duck-like bill, as well as kangaroos, koalas, and echidnas. Kerala in southern India stands out not only for its lush tropical landscape, but also for its impressive educational level. With a literacy rate exceeding 96%, this region is far above the national average in many developed countries. This success is due to decades of investment in public education, gender equality, and social welfare programs. Saliva particles expelled during a sneeze can travel up to 26 feet under favorable conditions. The speed of a sneeze exceeds 100 miles per hour, facilitating the spread of microdroplets ranging from large particles that fall quickly to tiny droplets that can remain suspended in the air for a considerable time. At an elementary school in the Japanese city of Kochi in 1954, more than 100 students and teachers claimed to have witnessed an unidentified flying object in the sky. According to witnesses, the craft had a round metallic shape and moved silently, while defying the known laws of physics. Written testimonies were taken, and some children made drawings of the object. Some African tribes believe that taking a photograph steals a person's soul because the image captures more than physical appearance. For these cultures, the soul is intimately connected to the face and gaze, and by freezing it in an image, something vital is detached. Although in the modern world this idea may sound mythical, it reveals a profound perspective on the symbolic power of images. The coldest substance ever created in a terrestrial laboratory was a gas of rubidium atoms cooled to only a few billionths of a degree above absolute zero. At that level of extreme cold, atoms almost stop moving and enter a quantum state known as a Bose-Einstein condensate, a phenomenon that allows scientists to study the strangest properties of matter. The saber-toothed tiger was a prehistoric feline that lived during the Pleistocene and became extinct approximately 10,000 years ago. It was characterized by its enormous canine fangs that could measure up to 12 inches in length, its main tool for hunting large prey such as bison and young mammoths. It had a robust body, short but muscular legs, and a jaw with an impressive opening capacity. The fog rainbow is an optical phenomenon similar to a conventional rainbow but with much fainter or almost imperceptible colors. It forms when sunlight refracts through tiny water droplets suspended in fog. Due to the small size of the droplets, diffraction softens the colors, giving the arc a predominantly white tone, and it is usually observed in areas with dense fog such as mountains and coastlines. The Dogon, an African tribe, possess myths with extraordinarily precise astronomical details about stars invisible to the human eye, such as Sirius B. No one knows with certainty where they obtained this information centuries before modern science confirmed the existence of that star. Some explanations point to ancestral memory, contact with travelers, or simple coincidence, but the mystery remains unsolved. The Malayan leaf frog is an amphibian with an astonishing camouflage ability that allows it to perfectly imitate a dry leaf. Its brown body with protrusions on the head resembling the edge of a leaf makes it practically invisible among the forest floor litter. It inhabits the tropical forests of Southeast Asia and is a nocturnal predator that feeds on insects and small invertebrates. In Greek mythology, Atlas was a titan condemned to hold up the heavens on his shoulders as punishment after the war between the Olympian gods and the Titans. His role as bearer of the sky made him a central figure in several legends, including that of Hercules, who in one of his 12 labors asked Atlas to hold the heavens while he retrieved the fruits from the Garden of the Hesperides. Cloud Gate is a public sculpture located in Millennium Park in Chicago, made of polished stainless steel, giving it a reflective mirror-like finish. It measures 33 feet high, 66 feet long, and 43 feet wide, weighing around 100 tons. Its bean-shaped form without visible seams allows the urban skyline and visitors to appear reflected in a distorted way on its surface. The Epiphyllum oxypetalum, known as the Queen of the Night, is a plant native to Central America famous for its spectacular white flowers that bloom only during the night and wither at dawn. Its flat, segmented stems can reach several feet in length, and the event of its nighttime blooming is so fleeting and beautiful that it attracts admirers from all over the world who wait hours to witness it. The Ocean Atlas is an impressive underwater sculpture installed in 2014 on Paradise Island in the Bahamas. Standing 59 feet tall and made of concrete, it represents a female figure with her arms extended toward the sky, as if emerging from the ocean. It is located at the center of an artificial reef structure, highlighting the relationship between humans and the sea. During the Middle Ages, science did not exist as we know it today. Knowledge was mixed with superstitions, rituals, and esoteric beliefs. Books on alchemy greatly outnumbered those of any scientific discipline, and the search for the transmutation of metals into gold occupied the brightest minds of the era. Scientific progress turned out to be a cultural construction that gained ground very slowly. Subatomic particles behave differently depending on whether someone observes them or not. This fundamental characteristic of quantum physics suggests that the act of measuring or observing directly influences the outcome. It is as if the universe waits to be observed before deciding its state, raising the possibility that consciousness plays an active role in the manifestation of material reality. Kazakhstan is the largest landlocked country in the world, yet it still has a naval force in the Caspian Sea. This force protects trade routes and the exploitation of natural resources in the region. The Caspian Sea, although technically a closed lake, holds significant strategic importance. Kazakhstan's naval presence reflects its commitment to defense and economic development. More than 4,000 light-years away, there is an exoplanet called 55 Cancri E that is probably a giant diamond. It orbits its star in only 18 hours with infernal temperatures on its surface. Its mass and pressure transformed carbon into crystal, creating a rocky body of cosmic proportions. It is an example of how strange the worlds beyond our own can be. Cotard syndrome is a disorder in which a person firmly believes they are dead or do not exist. Associated with severe depression or neurological diseases, it creates a total detachment from reality. Affected individuals need specialized medical attention to recover their perception. This phenomenon challenges our understanding of consciousness and human identity. Parrots possess intelligence comparable to that of a child between 3 and 5 years old. They understand concepts such as same and different and solve problems using demonstrable logical reasoning. Their ability to use words with communicative intention indicates advanced cognition in their brains. They do not simply repeat mechanically, and in some cases they understand what they are saying. In Japan, there are underground tunnels beneath train tracks so turtles can cross safely. They allow freshwater turtles to move through areas where tracks cut across their natural habitats. They are placed at strategic points and are wide enough for easy passage. It is an example of how engineering and conservation can coexist harmoniously. The catacombs of Paris extend for more than 186 miles beneath the city, with millions of human remains. In the 17th century, overcrowded cemeteries forced authorities to move bones into these tunnels. They contain skeletons stacked in artistic patterns and skulls several centuries old. Only a small portion is open to public visitors. Armstrong and Aldrin signed hundreds of autographs before going to the moon because they did not have life insurance. If they did not return alive, their families could sell those souvenirs to obtain financial support. It was their way of guaranteeing economic protection against the enormous risk of the Apollo 11 mission. This detail reveals the human side behind one of humanity's greatest achievements. The Ophiocordyceps fungus infects ants, controls their minds, and forces them to climb high before killing them. A structure grows from the insect's head that releases spores to infect more victims. This parasitic cycle repeats continuously in tropical forests around the world. It is a chilling example of how a parasite can completely control its host. The 1,000 Trees building in Shanghai is covered with more than 1,000 trees and 25,000 plants. Designed by Heatherwick Studio, it merges urban life with nature in a monumental vertical garden. Its goal is to improve air quality and reduce pollution in the urban area. It provides a healthier environment for those who live and work inside it. The pygmy marmoset measures between 5 and 6 inches and weighs about 3.5 ounces, making it the smallest monkey in the world. It inhabits the Amazon rainforests of Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, and Peru among the branches. It feeds on sap, insects, and fruit, perfectly adapted to life in the tropical canopy. Its golden brown fur makes it practically invisible among the trees. The Library of Alexandria gathered all the knowledge of the ancient world with hundreds of thousands of scrolls. It contained texts from Egyptian, Babylonian, Hindu, and Greek cultures about science and philosophy. It was destroyed through fires, wars, and looting over several turbulent centuries. No one knows how much knowledge was truly lost forever. Carom is an Indian board game where discs are struck with a striker to pocket them into corner holes. It combines elements of billiards and shuffleboard on a square wooden board with 4 perforated corners. The objective is to pocket all your discs before your opponent following precise strategic rules. It is enormously popular in Asia and is played individually or in pairs. The theater of Epidaurus from the 4th century BC had acoustics so perfect that a whisper could reach the highest seats. Its semicircular design, seat inclination, and sound-reflecting materials made this possible. Greek theaters were marvels of acoustic engineering, as well as fundamental cultural centers. Their precision continues to amaze modern sound engineers. The whale shark reaches 59 feet in length, but is completely harmless to humans who swim beside it. It feeds only on plankton and small fish filtered through its enormous gills while swimming. Its gray skin with white spots makes it recognizable in tropical waters around the world. It is one of the largest and most peaceful animals in the oceans. The Afghan hound stands out for its long, silky coat, aristocratic bearing, and agility inherited from centuries of hunting. Originating in Afghanistan, its slender body allows it to move gracefully across mountainous terrain. It is independent and reserved, although affectionate with its closest and most trusted family members. It requires constant grooming to maintain its elegant appearance. Orcas can reach speeds of 35 miles per hour and are apex predators with no natural enemies in the ocean. They organize themselves into matriarchal groups, with a diet ranging from fish to large whales. Their social intelligence and coordinated hunting techniques make them the most efficient predators in the sea. They are known for their distinctive black and white pattern and strong family bonds. Ancient Vedic texts from India describe vimanas, flying vehicles with descriptions similar to modern airplanes. In the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, there are mentions of ships crossing the skies with weapons and advanced technology. Some legends speak of aerial wars and floating cities sustained by unknown technology. Researchers debate whether these texts preserve encoded ancestral knowledge about lost technologies. Gelatin is made from collagen from bones and cartilage that traps water in a three-dimensional structure when cooled. This gives it its characteristic firm and elastic texture in desserts and culinary preparations. It dissolves in hot water, and when refrigerated, its molecules reorganize in a special way. It is a versatile food that can be combined with endless flavors and colors. Blown glass shapes molten glass through a metal tube, creating objects with unique internal bubbles. Every piece is unrepeatable, thanks to the natural variations of the ancient artisanal process. Craftsmen control form and size with their blowing technique and accumulated experience. From cups to sculptures, it combines manual skill with creativity and precision. The Lily Discovery Collector robot cleans barns autonomously by vacuuming manure instead of pushing it. Its compact design allows it to navigate among animals in narrow hallways without cables. It provides a safer and more hygienic environment for livestock than traditional systems. It is an innovation that significantly improves conditions in modern barns. The ocelot is a medium-sized feline that inhabits areas from the southern United States to Argentina. Its coat with black spots and rosettes on a golden background allows it to camouflage in jungles and shrublands. It measures between 28 and 39 inches and weighs between 15 and 33 pounds in adulthood. It is a solitary nocturnal hunter with excellent night vision. Sony presented a concept for an electric flying vehicle that takes off vertically and reaches 149 miles per hour. It carries up to 4 passengers with a range of approximately 248 miles of electric flight. Its lightweight and compact structure facilitates maneuverability in congested urban environments. It contributes to sustainability by being completely electric and producing no emissions. Migaloo is an albino humpback whale identified in 1991 near the Great Barrier Reef. Its completely white skin results from a rare genetic condition called albinism. It is extremely rare and easily recognizable among other humpback whales in the ocean. It has become a symbol of the fragility of Australian marine life. The metaverse promises a digital world where we can work, study, and socialize in immersive virtual environments. Major companies are investing millions in its development with virtual reality headsets and personalized avatars. It will be possible to attend concerts, meetings, or even own property in that parallel digital universe. Every day we become more connected, and the metaverse seeks to take that experience to another level. The Los Caracoles Road in the Andes climbs to more than 10,500 feet with tight zigzag curves. It is a crucial route between Chile and Argentina that challenges drivers, especially during snowy winters. The curves are so sharp that exceptional skill is required to travel them safely. It offers spectacular views of the majestic Andes mountain range at every turn. 3-player chess uses a hexagonal board where each participant faces 2 opponents simultaneously. It requires more dynamic planning and temporary alliances between players to survive in the match. Balance is key because attacking one player too much leaves you vulnerable to the third without remedy. It adds an extra level of strategic complexity to the ancient classic game. The Grand Lisboa in Macau stands 856 feet tall, with a design inspired by a golden lotus flower. It houses a luxurious hotel, Michelin-starred restaurants, and an internationally renowned casino. Its 58 floors combine elegance and modernity in every interior and exterior detail. It is a symbol of entertainment and tourism throughout the Asian region. Eating in Antarctica is complicated with temperatures constantly dropping below -58 degrees Fahrenheit. There is no arable land or fresh food source anywhere on the frozen continent. Scientific bases depend on supplies periodically shipped from distant continents. Antarctic food logistics are among the most complex operations in the world. Steam bending allows wood to be bent without breaking by using heat and moisture from water vapor. The piece is placed in a steam box until its fibers become flexible and moldable. It is then shaped into the desired form until it cools, fixing its new permanent curvature. It has been used in the manufacture of furniture, musical instruments, and boats for centuries. The Japanese tekorep demolition method dismantles buildings from the inside and from top to bottom silently. A temporary cover captures debris and reduces dust dispersion in the urban environment. It uses hydraulic systems to dismantle floor by floor without explosives of any kind. It minimizes noise and pollution compared to traditional demolition methods. The Christ of Peace statue in Bolivia stands 112 feet tall on a base with an additional 20 feet. Inaugurated in 1994, it offers panoramic views from San Pedro Hill. It is made of reinforced concrete covered with fiberglass resistant to weather conditions. With a total height of 132 feet, it is one of the largest Christ statues in the world. Starfruit has the shape of a five-pointed star when sliced into thin pieces. Its juicy flesh ranges from sweet to sour, depending on the ripeness of the tropical fruit. It is rich in vitamin C, antioxidants, and fiber, with high water content and few calories. Native to Southeast Asia, it is used in juices, salads, and as decoration in dishes. The Apollo robot stands 5 feet 8 inches tall, weighs 160 pounds, and can lift loads of up to 55 pounds. Its electric design includes interchangeable batteries with an autonomy of approximately 4 hours of work. It is ideal for handling objects in factories and warehouses efficiently and continuously. It allows operations without prolonged interruptions in industrial and logistical environments. In ancient times, fur coats were a status symbol among nobles and European royalty. Fox, marten, and ermine furs were expensive and difficult to obtain for the general population. Wearing these garments was a sign of wealth, power, and elevated social status. For centuries, clothing directly reflected the social standing of the person wearing it. Beekeeping suits protect beekeepers with resistant and breathable materials and light colors. Dark tones irritate bees because they associate them with natural predators of the hive. They include face mesh, long gloves, and elastic closures to prevent any insects from entering. They are essential for working safely with hives and their inhabitants. The tololoche is a string instrument from northern Mexico, similar to a double bass but smaller. It has 3 or 4 strings, a hollow wooden body, and a fretless neck for tonal freedom. It is played with the fingers in pizzicato, providing the rhythmic bass in traditional northern Mexican music. Its deep and percussive sound is characteristic of regional Mexican ensembles. Toothpaste contains mild abrasives such as calcium carbonate that remove plaque without damaging enamel. It also includes fluoride that strengthens teeth and prevents cavities by remineralizing damaged areas. Detergents create foam, humectants maintain texture, and flavorings make daily use pleasant. All these ingredients work together to clean and protect dental health. Eternal flowers are natural flowers preserved with glycerin that maintain their beauty for entire years. They preserve their natural texture and softness to the touch, making them practically indistinguishable from fresh flowers. They do not need water or light and are popular in decoration because of their extraordinary durability. Unlike artificial flowers, they maintain the appearance and feel of a real flower. Laser cutting uses a concentrated beam of light to cut materials such as wood, metal, and leather without contact. There are CO2, fiber optic, and diode types, each intended for different specific industrial applications. It allows clean and detailed cuts with millimeter precision in any design or pattern. It is indispensable both in industry and in creative customization projects. The hairy frogfish has filaments that camouflage it among corals and uses a lure on its head to hunt. Its expandable mouth allows it to swallow prey its own size in fractions of a second. It is a master of underwater ambush that patiently waits for prey to come close. Its unique appearance makes it practically invisible on the ocean floor. The largest Lego ball in the world was certified by Guinness World Records for its size and engineering. Designed like a classic soccer ball with pentagons and hexagons, assembled with great precision, it required meticulous planning, internal reinforcements, and advanced assembly techniques over several months. Although it is not designed for play, it is completely functional in terms of spherical shape. The mongoose is famous for hunting venomous snakes, thanks to its reaction speed and partial resistance to venom. They are intelligent and social, living in organized groups or alone depending on the species. Their slender, elongated bodies with short legs allow them to move with extreme agility in their habitat. Despite their small size, they are formidable predators in their natural environment. Induction heating uses electromagnetic fields to generate heat in metals without direct contact. A coil creates high-frequency alternating current that heats the object quickly and evenly. It is highly efficient, precise, and controllable in industrial applications such as forging and welding. It allows exact temperatures without wasting energy, heating the surrounding environment. Vacuum packaging removes air from bags before sealing them, reducing oxidation and the growth of microorganisms. It significantly extends the shelf life of meats, cheeses, and vegetables while maintaining their original freshness. It is widely used in the food and pharmaceutical industries because of its preservation benefits. It also protects moisture-sensitive objects during storage and transportation. Dry ice cleaning uses carbon dioxide pellets that sublimate upon impact without leaving residue. It is non-abrasive, does not damage surfaces, and is safe for electrical components and delicate machinery. It is ideal for automotive, aerospace, and food industries where cleaning must be perfect. The method is environmentally friendly because it does not generate secondary waste or use polluting chemicals. The waiter race in Paris requires covering a distance with trays of drinks without spilling a single drop. Participants walk quickly without running while wearing the traditional Parisian waiter uniform. They must avoid obstacles while maintaining perfect balance of their loaded trays at all times. This event highlights the skill and precision of waiters from the most iconic cafes. Trichomegaly is a rare condition where eyelashes grow abnormally long, thick, and dense. It can cause discomfort by brushing against the eyes or interfering with the vision of the affected patient. In some cases, it is associated with genetic disorders or side effects of certain specific medications. Although it is usually not serious, it requires medical evaluation to determine its exact cause. The Mayan calendar predicted eclipses and solar cycles centuries in advance without telescopes or computers. It was more accurate than the Gregorian calendar, and every celestial event had deep spiritual meaning. Their vision of time was cyclical rather than linear, measuring cosmic energies that govern life. They did not measure simple dates, but the relationship between the sky and human existence. It is possible to boil water in a paper cup because the water absorbs the heat before the paper burns. Paper burns at 451 degrees Fahrenheit, but water boils at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. As long as there is water, the paper will not exceed that temperature and will not catch fire. If the water completely evaporates, the paper will begin burning immediately. Tibetan monks control their body temperature with tummo meditation and dry, wet sheets using internal heat. In the extreme climates of the Himalayas, they wrap themselves in damp cloths as part of ancestral rituals. Through breathing and concentration, they raise their body heat enough to dry them in minutes. Western scientists have verified these thermal changes in controlled studies. Pizza boxes are square, even though pizza is round for a very practical reason. Manufacturing, storing, and transporting flat square boxes is much cheaper than making round ones. Also, the empty corners of the box act as air zones that prevent the dough from touching the edges and getting crushed during transport. In South Korea, it is impossible to mute the sound of a phone camera, even when the phone is in silent mode. Manufacturers are legally required to implement it to prevent people from taking inappropriate photos on crowded subway trains, especially under skirts. The famous Dubai chocolate exploded on social media during 2023 and accumulated more than 120 million views. The bar, filled with pistachio and Gaddafi pastry, caused a worldwide shortage that drove prices up by as much as 35%. Depending on the country, a single bar can cost between $20 and $60. In Lustenau, a town in Austria, they build the largest bonfire on the planet. They stack 220,000 pounds of wood into a tower, almost 197 feet tall, a community project that takes days of effort. When they finally set it on fire in a single night with music and fireworks, the result looks like a giant pillar of flames embracing the sky. Despite the name, the so-called panda ant is neither an ant nor a panda. It is actually a wingless wasp whose sting is so brutal that in Chile and South America, it is nicknamed the cow killer. Its furry white body with black spots gave it the nickname. It does not form colonies or have a queen, it lives alone, and it is best observed from a distance. There are electric saws capable of detecting contact with human skin and stopping the blade in less than 5 milliseconds. They achieve this thanks to a small electrical signal that recognizes the conductivity of the body and triggers an almost instant break. This invention has saved thousands of fingers and entire careers in woodworking shops around the world. In Nagoro, a Japanese village, there are more scarecrows than neighbors. A local artist began making life-size dolls to replace the residents who kept moving away, and now there are more than 350 of them. They sit in the streets, inside stores, and even at school desks, telling the story of those who are no longer there. The robot Sub-1 Reloaded entered the Guinness Book by solving a Rubik's Cube in just 0.38 seconds. It relies on high-speed cameras and algorithms that calculate the solution in milliseconds before moving anything. Its 6 motors spin the faces so quickly that the human eye cannot even follow them. In 1992, a shipping container overturned during a storm, and 30,000 rubber ducks fell into the ocean. Since then, they have appeared on beaches in Alaska, Scotland, Hawaii, and even the Arctic. Far from being trash, scientists use them to map ocean currents, turning an accident into a valuable source of information. The Kerez irrigation system has been operating in China for 2,000 years, transporting water through tunnels using only gravity. It has more than 3,100 miles of canals, and its scale is compared to the Great Wall. Thanks to it, grapes can be grown in the middle of the Gobi Desert, a living proof of ancient human ingenuity. In the Paralympic Games, blind sprinters run tied by the wrist to a guide who synchronizes every stride with them. The guide can set the pace, but there is one key rule. The guide cannot cross the finish line before the athlete. To reach that level of synchronization, both train for months until they build absolute trust. Roundabouts are the most successful traffic invention in history. Statistically, replacing a traffic light intersection with a roundabout reduces fatal accidents by 90%. The reason is that they physically force drivers to slow down and mechanically make it impossible for someone to suffer a side impact in a T-bone crash, which is the deadliest type of collision in cars. The Parthenon in Athens looks like the straightest and most perfect building in history, but that is an illusion. There is not a single straight line in the entire structure. The Greeks knew that the human eye distorts large buildings from far away, so they built the columns slightly curved and tilted inward so your brain would perceive them as perfect. The B-2 Spirit is the most expensive warplane in the world, valued at $2 billion, but it has a ridiculous weakness. Its invisibility to radar depends on a special paint that absorbs waves. If it rains heavily, the water alters that paint, ruining its camouflage and making it visible to enemy radar, which is why it sleeps in highly controlled air-conditioned hangars. Hippos are physically incapable of swimming. Their bone density is so massive, and they have so little fat that they sink like a 6,600-pound rock. What they actually do is walk, trot, or make huge slow-motion jumps along the riverbed. When you see them sticking their heads out of the water, it is because they pushed off from the bottom to breathe. Riding a jet ski tricks the brain because they have no brakes and no real steering wheel. They do not turn by moving a fin underwater, but by shooting a high-pressure jet of water sideways. If a beginner panics and releases the throttle while trying to turn the handlebars, there is no water jet, the handlebars do nothing, and the jet ski will keep going straight from inertia until it crashes. The white sand on Caribbean beaches was not formed only by rocks rubbing together. It is the work of the parrotfish, a colorful fish with a hard beak that bites and tears off pieces of coral to eat the algae inside. Since it cannot digest limestone, it crushes it in its stomach and excretes it as fine white sand. A single specimen produces almost 880 pounds of sand every year. On the surface of Venus, the atmospheric pressure is equivalent to being almost 3,000 feet underwater in Earth's oceans. If you walked there, you would feel as if you were moving through a dense fluid like hot water, making any movement incredibly heavy and slow. The IKEA effect explains why you love your ugly furniture. Psychology shows that humans value an object much more if it required effort to build. If you struggle screwing together and badly assembling a cheap piece of furniture for 3 hours, your brain develops an emotional bond and defends that furniture even if it is crooked, because your mind assumes your physical effort added real value to it. Gibraltar is famous for being the only place in Europe with wild monkeys, the Barbary macaques. There is a military legend that says, as long as there are monkeys on the rock, Gibraltar will remain British. During World War II, the population dropped to only 7 individuals, and Winston Churchill ordered monkeys imported from Africa to repopulate the rock. French Guiana is not an independent country. It is literally a piece of France embedded in South America. People there use euros and are citizens of the European Union. France keeps it because being located right above the equator means Earth's rotation moves faster there, giving rockets launched from its space base an extra free boost. The color of your car does not increase insurance prices. It is the most widespread urban legend in the automotive world. Insurance companies have no idea what color your car is. When they enter your VIN number, the algorithm only calculates the engine model, replacement parts, your age, and the theft rate of your zip code. Color is not a mathematical risk variable. In the United Kingdom and France, there was once a tax that charged homeowners according to the number of windows they had. People began sealing up their windows with bricks to save money, causing a public health crisis from lack of ventilation and light. Even today, you can still see old buildings in London with fake windows made of brick. Hiccups are an evolutionary glitch from when we had gills. They serve no useful purpose for modern humans. We evolved from amphibious creatures that lived 370 million years ago. Your hiccup is a short circuit in the brainstem that for a second tries to make you breathe water underwater like tadpoles once did. The puffin has a beak with orange and yellow stripes that is actually a mating disguise. When summer ends and the dark winter arrives, the colorful plates on the beak literally fall off, revealing a gray, small, and boring beak, completely different from its summer appearance. The bearded seal has enormous white whiskers on its snout that are not ordinary hair. They are connected to hundreds of ultra-sensitive nerves. Since it hunts in the muddy and dark bottom of the Bering Sea, it uses its whiskers like a tactile sonar, detecting the vibrations of a crab hidden under the sand and sweeping the seafloor like a metal detector. Parallel landings at the world's largest airports are a perfect choreography. If you fly to San Francisco or Dubai, you can look out the window and see a massive Boeing descending beside you at 186 miles per hour, only about 650 feet away. One aircraft flies slightly ahead of the other, so the air waves from its wings do not push the neighboring plane. When astronauts go into orbit and look at Earth for the first time, they experience a permanent cognitive change called the overview effect. Seeing the planet as a small, fragile ball floating in the dark void without borders or countries causes nationalism and ego to disappear. They return to Earth with an overwhelming sense of empathy toward all humanity. The company Osmo AI is capable of capturing scents and recreating them remotely using artificial intelligence and laboratory robots. It analyzes aromatic molecules, uploads them to the cloud, and a system converts them into exact molecular recipes. The teleportation of smells is closer than anyone would imagine. Hawaii is famous for being the best place in the world to hunt rainbows thanks to its tropical climate and frequent rain. Its mountainous landscape and ocean breeze scatter light, generating single, double, and even quadruple rainbows. In local culture, they are interpreted as symbols of spiritual connection and signs of good luck. In a Brazilian prison, they replace guard dogs with geese and achieve surprisingly effective results. They are extremely territorial. They honk loudly as soon as they detect intruders, and they are not easily intimidated. They require little care, and today they are an essential part of the security team. 4 German students built the largest Tetris game in the world by projecting it onto the facade of a 15-story building. They used LED lights controlled by software, and the pieces fell in real time while the city watched. Players moved the blocks from a computer installed at the base of the building. Cats have a reflective layer called the tapetum lucidum that bounces light inside the eye and gives them much better night vision than humans. This allows them to hunt accurately in dim light, and the reflection can appear green, yellow, or blue depending on the angle. They cannot see in total darkness, but they come close, and that glow is an evolutionary survival tool. Moon Hill in China rises 1,247 feet and features a stone arch 164 feet wide, sculpted by erosion over thousands of years. To reach the summit, you must climb more than 800 steps through dense vegetation. Seen from a distance, the arch seems to imitate the different phases of the moon depending on where you stand. The domestication of the silkworm began in China 5,000 years ago and remains essential for today's textile industry. Each cocoon can produce a single thread up to 2,950 feet long, but they must be boiled to extract it without breaking it. Even though synthetic fibers exist, natural silk remains a luxury product thanks to this insect. The official portrait of Barack Obama was created using a 3-dimensional scan that used 8 cameras and 50 different light sources. Processing the image took 4 days and resulted in a hyper-realistic portrait that can be viewed from any angle. It was a modern way of immortalizing a president associated with change and innovation. In Cameron Air Park, California, garages do not store cars. They store airplanes, and the streets function as runways. This neighborhood, founded in 1963, contains 124 houses with traffic markings painted directly on the ground. It is a place where daily traffic problems are solved simply by taking off into the clouds. The name Volkswagen is literally German. Volk means people, and wagon means car. In 1937, Adolf Hitler wanted every working German family to own an affordable vehicle. He commissioned Ferdinand Porsche to design it, and the result later became the legendary Beetle, the most manufactured car in history on a single platform. The Tsingy de Bemaraha in Madagascar is a giant stone forest formed by thousands of limestone spikes so sharp they cut like butcher knives. Animals there have had to evolve to make incredibly precise jumps because one slip means being impaled on those deadly formations. A single bird can bring down an airplane. If a bird enters an engine during takeoff, it can severely damage the turbines and force the aircraft to make an emergency landing. The most surprising part is that the impact can come from an animal weighing less than 4.5 pounds. That is why airports have special systems to scare birds away. Rhinoceroses are almost blind. At 100 feet away, they cannot distinguish whether what is in front of them is a tree or a hunter. To compensate for this evolutionary flaw, they live in symbiosis with oxpeckers, birds that ride on their backs eating their ticks. If the bird detects movement, it emits a sharp cry warning the rhinoceros to prepare itself. An animal weighing over 13,000 pounds that can flip a car without effort goes into total panic if it hears the buzz of a bee. African bees attack directly inside the elephant's trunk, which is filled with ultra-sensitive nerve endings. Today, African farmers surround their crops with beehives connected by ropes to scare away elephants without violence. Beach inflatables are lifeguards' worst nightmare because of the so-called sail effect. Since they do not sink in the water, they have no friction. If there is a light offshore wind, the inflatable will push you out to sea at a speed much faster than any Olympic swimmer could manage to return to shore. The Great Pyramid of Giza does not have 4 sides but 8. Each of the 4 main faces is slightly concave, divided in half by an almost invisible indentation from the ground that becomes obvious from the air with the grazing light of the equinox. It is an architectural precision that still has not been fully explained. Building a giant cruise ship like the Icon of the Seas costs approximately 2 billion euros. The process takes about 3 years and requires more than 3,000 workers operating 24 hours a day. What makes it so expensive is not the steel, but the liquefied natural gas propulsion systems and the water purification technology needed for 7,000 people every day. Cavities are not simple holes. They are the result of an acid war inside your mouth. Streptococcus mutans bacteria feed on sugar and excrete lactic acid that dissolves enamel, the hardest tissue in the human body. What few people know is that cavities are contagious. A mother can pass them to her baby simply by sharing a spoon. The fishing bat, Noctilio leperinus, is an expert fisherman. It uses echolocation to detect the ripples fish create when brushing the surface of the water. With disproportionately long, curved rear claws, it catches prey while flying low over the water and can capture up to 30 small fish in a single night. The largest helicopter in the world, the Mi-26, can lift up to 20 tons of cargo. Its 8 rotor blades have such a huge diameter that they cover the surface area of a 10-story building. It has been used to rescue crashed helicopters in the Himalayas and to transport frozen mammoths found in the Siberian permafrost. Almost all smartphone screens use Gorilla Glass, a material submerged in a bath of potassium salts at 752 degrees Fahrenheit. Potassium ions, which are larger, squeeze into the spaces inside the glass and compress the structure. That internal compression is what makes the glass resistant to breaking when dropped. Deodorant and antiperspirant are chemically opposite worlds. Deodorant only adds fragrance to mask odor and a bit of alcohol to kill bacteria. Antiperspirant contains aluminum salts that melt when they come into contact with sweat and form a solid gel plug that physically seals the pores in your armpits. The Pantheon in Rome has a giant hole in the ceiling almost 30 feet wide called the oculus. When it rains, rain falls inside, but the building never floods. The Romans built the marble floor with a slight convex curve and hid 22 nearly invisible drainage holes. The water falls and disappears as if by magic. Your car's steering wheel is designed so your hands do not go numb. The polyurethane covering has a density calculated with extreme precision to absorb the exact vibration frequency of your engine. If the steering wheel were made of hard plastic or bare metal, the micro vibrations would leave your hands numb after only half an hour of driving. In a serious crash, before your body even starts moving forward, a sensor detonates a miniature explosive cartridge called a pretensioner inside your seatbelt. This mechanism violently pulls the belt backward, pinning you against the seat in milliseconds, so the airbag does not break your nose when it deploys. Just by reading the words lice or fleas or seeing someone scratch intensely, there is a good chance you are now feeling a phantom itch on your scalp. It is a psychological survival reflex. Your brain assumes that if someone else has parasites, you might have them too and forces you to scratch as a precaution. At Microsoft's facilities in Washington, there is an anechoic chamber that holds the Guinness World Record for the quietest place on Earth, absorbing 99.99% of ambient sound. The silence is so intense that your brain, deprived of external stimuli, turns up its own internal volume until it becomes unbearable. The tiles with circles or lines you step on at street corners are called tactile paving. The lines indicate that the path ahead is clear, and the circles warn of an imminent danger such as a crosswalk or a step. They allow blind people to read the ground with their feet or a cane in order to navigate safely. Dogs can move their ears independently thanks to 18 different muscles. This allows them to locate the exact source of a sound in less than 0.06 seconds, functioning like directional satellite dishes that filter environmental noise with astonishing precision. In shopping malls, escalators are designed so the upward and downward rides never line up directly. They force you to walk around store corridors to reach the next level, maximizing the time you spend looking at storefronts before arriving at your real destination. Your taste buds regenerate every 2 weeks. As the years pass, this process slows down and the number of taste buds decreases. That is why children find bitter flavors like Brussels sprouts or coffee unbearable, while adults learn to enjoy them. In a year, you will probably like things that you dislike today. Blowing out birthday candles covers the cake in bacteria. A study found that blowing can increase the amount of bacteria on the surface by more than 10 times. The funny part is that the more enthusiastically you blow, the more microorganisms spread across the cake. Every wish comes with an extra gift. Donuts have a hole because of culinary physics, not aesthetics. At first, people fried solid balls of dough, but the outside burned while the center stayed raw. Someone realized that by making a hole in the middle, the hot oil cooked the inside and outside at the same time, creating a perfect, evenly fried pastry. The handrail on escalators always moves slightly faster than the steps. It is an international engineering safety trick. Because the handrail moves faster, it subtly forces you to lean forward, preventing the dangerous instinct of leaning backward and causing a domino effect fall onto other passengers. There is a parasitic worm called leucochloridium that infects snails and erases their willpower. The parasite swells inside the snail's eye stalks, pulsing with bright neon colors. It also forces the snail, which hates light, to climb to the tops of leaves in broad daylight to act as a bright living lure so birds will eat it. At the summit of the Kelimutu volcano in Indonesia, there are 3 separate lakes and each changes color independently. One day, one lake is turquoise, another blood red, and the third jet black. The next month they may turn green or brown. This happens because of chemical reactions between volcanic gases and the minerals in the water. The first puzzle in history was not a toy. In 1760, a cartographer named John Spilsbury glued a map of Europe onto a wooden board and used a saw to cut along the borders of each country, creating a tool for children to learn geography by fitting the pieces together. High-heeled shoes were invented for men. In 10th century Persia, cavalry soldiers wore high heels because they fit perfectly into stirrups, allowing riders to stand while galloping and shoot bows without falling off their horses. European aristocrats later copied them to appear more masculine. Tonic water glows in the dark. It contains quinine, a compound once used to treat malaria that gives tonic water its bitter taste. Quinine is highly fluorescent. If you turn off the lights and place a glass of tonic water under an ultraviolet party light, the liquid will glow with a spectacular blue color. Supermarket oranges always come in red or orange mesh bags because of an optical illusion called the Munker white illusion. The red mesh tricks your brain into perceiving the peel as much more vibrant, ripe, and appetizing than it really is. That is why you never see oranges sold in green or blue mesh bags. Aogashima in Japan is one of the most isolated villages in the world. The entire population lives literally inside the giant crater of an active volcano. As if that were not enough, inside that crater there is another mini volcano releasing steam. Residents use steam vents from the volcanic ground to cook their food outdoors. When you cry, tears do not fall only outside your eyes. In the inner corners of your eyes, there are tiny drains called lacrimal puncta. Excess tears travel through internal ducts that lead directly into your nasal cavity. What you blow out of your nose while crying is literally the water from your own tears. The muffler on your car's exhaust pipe has a tiny hole on the bottom that is not damage or a defect. It is called a drain hole, and its purpose is to let condensation water drip onto the asphalt. Without it, water would collect inside and the exhaust pipe would rust from the inside within a few months. The silica gel packets that come inside shoeboxes with skull warnings and danger labels are not deadly poison. They are simply silicon dioxide, synthetic sand that absorbs moisture and is completely non-toxic. The warning exists only because the packet is a choking hazard if a child swallows it whole. The Hamadryas baboons of Ethiopia have a society that resembles a patriarchal mafia. Dominant males steal female infants from other families and raise them to form their own harems. The control is absolute. If one of their females moves even a few feet too far away, the male simply stares intensely and raises his eyebrows as a threatening command to return. The Cantabrian brown bear has a reproductive mechanism called delayed implantation. They mate in spring, but the fertilized egg does not grow and instead remains suspended in the uterus. In autumn, the female's body checks how much fat she has stored. If she ate enough, the pregnancy begins. If she is too thin, the body reabsorbs the embryo and automatically cancels the pregnancy. There is no blue, green, or gray pigment in the human eye. Every eye on the planet is genetically brown because of melanin. If you have blue eyes, the outer layer of your iris simply contains zero melanin. Without pigment, particles scatter light and reflect only blue wavelengths. Your eyes are blue for the same physical reason the sky is blue. Great Japanese chefs would never serve you sushi from a fish that just came out of the ocean. A freshly killed fish becomes stiff from rigor mortis and has almost no flavor. Fish in the best restaurants is aged in special refrigerators for days or weeks. Enzymes break down proteins, making the flesh buttery soft and intensifying the umami flavor. Angkor Wat floats on top of a swamp in Cambodia. The gigantic stone towers weigh millions of tons but are not built on solid rock. Instead, they rest on a bed of sand and underground water. Engineers of the Khmer Empire calculated everything so the temple would float above the water. If too much groundwater is ever extracted, the entire structure could collapse. The kookaburra has a call that sounds exactly like hysterical human laughter, but they are not happy. That sound is a highly aggressive territorial warning. They are also brutal hunters that kill venomous snakes by grabbing them by the neck and smashing them repeatedly against rocks. Andorra is the only parliamentary co-principality in the world. Its two heads of state are always a Spanish bishop and the president of France. This means the French president is technically and legally the Prince of Andorra, ruling over a country of which he is not a citizen. At more than 217 miles per hour, wind force would rip a normal windshield wiper off the glass of a supercar. These vehicles need aerodynamic profiles built into the wiper arm itself, so the wind presses it harder against the windshield, an engineering detail that goes completely unnoticed. The Australian dingo does not know how to bark. It communicates with howls and strange sounds that resemble sneezes. But its greatest secret is that its wrist can rotate, something impossible for domestic dogs, and its neck has double articulation. This allows dingoes to open door handles and even climb trees almost like felines. The red traffic light was not chosen because it psychologically means danger, but because of pure physics. Red has the longest wavelength in the visible spectrum, meaning it passes through fog, rain, and dust much better than green or yellow. During a terrible storm, red light is the only one you may be able to see from 1,640 feet away. Artificial intelligence suffers from a defect called catastrophic forgetting. If you train an AI to become the best chess player in the world, and tomorrow train it to play checkers, the new data will overwrite the old neural weights. As soon as it learns checkers, it will completely forget how to play chess. The serval has the highest hunting success rate of all wild cats at 60%, while lions fail in 80% of their attacks. Its huge parabolic ears can hear the heartbeat of a mouse hidden more than 3 feet underground, and it can leap almost 10 feet vertically to catch birds in flight. Kopi Luwak coffee is the most expensive coffee in the world, and a single cup can cost more than $100. It is produced by the civet, a small nocturnal mammal that eats coffee cherries. During digestion, its gastric juices remove bitterness from the beans without destroying them. Farmers collect the droppings with the intact beans, wash them, roast them, and sell them for enormous prices. Mount Thor in Canada has the most terrifying uninterrupted vertical drop on Earth. If you dropped a rock from the summit, it would take about 10 full seconds to hit the ground without touching any wall. Its drop measures more than 4,100 feet, taller than the Burj Khalifa skyscraper. The African lungfish buries itself in the mud when its lake dries up, secretes a protective mucus cocoon, slows down its metabolism, and begins breathing air through an opening toward the surface. It can survive like this, buried under dry ground, for up to 4 years while patiently waiting for rain. The macadamia nut is the hardest nut on Earth. Opening one requires industrial pressure. You could run it over with a car, and it would not break. Its shell is so incredibly resistant that industries use it as a high-performance industrial abrasive and even as a material for filtering toxins. The vertical groove between your upper lip and your nose is called the philtrum, and in humans it serves absolutely no purpose. It is the evolutionary scar that reveals how your face formed in the womb. Your face did not grow forward. It grew from 3 separate plates that fused together in the middle during development. The propellers of nuclear military submarines are among the most closely guarded state secrets. When a submarine surfaces, the propeller is always covered with a giant tarp. The exact shape of its blades determines the noise it makes underwater, and if an enemy sees it, they can program their sonar systems to detect that submarine from miles away. Airplane seats are usually blue because psychologically, it is the color that gives passengers the greatest sense of safety and calm. Also, stains and wear are hidden much better on dark blue than on any other color, saving airlines deep cleaning costs. Titanium is the preferred metal for medical implants because it is biocompatible. The human body does not recognize it as a foreign object, and bone can grow directly onto the metal and fuse with it through a process called osseointegration, something that does not happen with steel or gold. Cats walk using something called direct register gait. While walking, they place their back paws almost exactly where their front paws stepped a moment earlier. This minimizes noise and reduces the chance of stepping on a dry branch that could alert prey during a hunt. Movie theater seats are red for a physical reason. Red is the first color the human eye stops perceiving when light intensity decreases. When the lights in the theater go out, the seats disappear from your vision before any other color, helping you focus exclusively on the screen. The parrotfish sleeps every night inside a sleeping bag made from its own mucus. It creates a transparent bubble surrounding its body to hide its scent from nocturnal predators such as eels, and also prevents marine parasites from attaching to its skin while it rests peacefully. Mont Saint-Michel in France has the most extreme tides in Europe. The water can rise and fall by up to 46 feet. The sea moves in so quickly that historically people said it advanced at the speed of a galloping horse, trapping careless travelers who miscalculated the timing. Puerta del Sol in Madrid has a kilometer zero plaque that is not the geographical center of Spain, but the starting point of the country's 6 radial national highways. It was placed in 1950 and is the most stepped-on spot in the entire city, forcing authorities to replace it every few years because of wear on the bronze. Paris does not have stop signs. In the entire French capital, there is only one, located near a dock. The rest of the city follows the rule of priority to the right. It is a city where traffic flows or jams without ever completely stopping, something that surprises any foreign visitor. La Rinconada in the Peruvian Andes, more than 16,700 feet above sea level, is the highest city on the planet. There is 50% less oxygen there than at sea level. Residents have developed larger lungs and denser blood. There is no running water or sewage system, but people live there because of the gold rush. The stomach acid of a vulture has a pH close to 0, almost as corrosive as car battery acid. This allows them to eat meat infected with anthrax, cholera, or botulism without getting sick. They function like ecological incinerators. Bacteria enter the vulture and die, stopping epidemics that would kill other animals. The SR-71 Blackbird was the fastest aircraft in the world, capable of exceeding Mach 3. It heated up so much during flight that its panels expanded by several inches. When cold, the gaps between panels caused constant fuel leaks. They only sealed once the aircraft reached supersonic speeds because of metal expansion. When you take a curve in a car, the outside wheel travels a greater distance than the inside wheel. Without the differential, a mechanical system of gears, the wheels would rotate at the same speed and the car would skid or break an axle. It is one of the most brilliant and forgotten pieces of automotive engineering. Your femur is stronger than reinforced concrete. It can support up to 30 times the weight of an average person before braking. It is designed with an internal fiber structure that imitates the Eiffel Tower, making it lightweight yet almost indestructible. The plastic lids on takeaway coffee cups have a double function. If you remove the lid and place it on a table, you will notice that the base of the cup fits perfectly into the grooves. It is designed to serve as an improvised coaster that catches drops running down the cardboard cup and protects the surface. Pistachios are no longer dyed red. In the past, they were dyed to hide stains and shell cracks left from manual harvesting. Today, the production process is so clean and technological that there is no longer any need to camouflage the natural appearance of the nut. Science theorizes that just as black holes exist and swallow everything, white holes must also exist. Regions of space where nothing can enter and matter and energy are expelled outward at incredible speed. It would be like the universe vomiting stored content outward, although white holes have never been directly observed. When a snowstorm hits the plains, cows become frightened and run away from it, which causes the storm to chase them and makes them suffer longer. American bison do the opposite. They turn around and run directly into the storm. By moving against it, they cross through much faster and suffer less. In many helicopters, the entire main rotor assembly is attached to the mast by a single, massive central nut. In military aviation slang, it is called the Jesus nut. Why? Because if that nut fails during flight, the blades detach and the only thing left for the pilot to do is pray. Almost 70% of people who win massive lottery prizes end up completely broke or deeply in debt within 7 years. The human brain is not prepared to process sudden, unlimited resources. Compulsive spending, toxic family demands, and addictions skyrocket. Guide dogs are trained in a concept called intelligent disobedience. If a blind owner orders the dog to move forward across a street, but the dog sees that a silent electric car is approaching or notices an open manhole, it will disobey the direct order and physically block the owner in order to save their life. Clyde Tombaugh was the astronomer who discovered Pluto in 1930. When he died, NASA fulfilled his final wish by placing some of his ashes in a capsule aboard the New Horizons probe. In 2015, the probe passed by Pluto and continued into deep space, turning Clyde into the first human with an interstellar grave. An average human sweats up to 53 gallons of liquid every year while sleeping. A mattress absorbs much of that moisture, along with pounds of dead skin cells. That is why experts recommend replacing mattresses every decade, and why old mattresses become heavy and stained with impossible yellow marks. The Vizcacha looks like a mixture of a rabbit and a chinchilla, with the face of an old man tired of life. They spend 90% of the day stretched out on rocks in the sun with expressions of absolute laziness. But it is an extreme energy-saving strategy in the Andes. If a puma appears, that little furball leaps from rock to rock at dizzying speed. After the age of 40, human skin secretes a chemical molecule called 2-nonanol that produces the characteristic smell associated with older people. The problem is that this molecule is not water-soluble, which means that no matter how many showers you take or how much soap you use, the smell returns within minutes. Instant noodles are curly because of rapid cooking physics. Making them in a zigzag shape creates tiny air chambers inside the hard noodle block. When boiling water is poured over them, it instantly penetrates all the spaces and cooks them in just 3 minutes. If they were straight, they would stick together into a solid brick of dough. Crocodiles can gallop like horses. Species such as the Australian freshwater crocodile can lift themselves onto all 4 legs and gallop on land at speeds of almost 12 miles per hour. Seeing an armored reptile weighing hundreds of pounds running toward you like a horse is pure nightmare fuel. At the Highline Meeting Festival in Italy, participants walk on lines suspended between mountains and in some cases sleep in hammocks, hanging hundreds of feet above the ground. The practice of walking on these tension lines is known as slacklining, a sport that tests balance and concentration under extreme conditions. In Paraguay, there is a community of German Mennonites who arrived decades ago and still maintain their language, culture, and traditional lifestyle with great autonomy. They live in self-managed colonies where everything is produced internally, from food to vehicles, in a fascinating mix of selective modernity and centuries-old traditions. In Denmark during spring, thousands of starlings gather to create hypnotic formations in the sky, a phenomenon known as black sun. This natural spectacle is a defensive strategy against predators because synchronized flight makes it difficult for birds of prey to attack. It has attracted thousands of tourists and nature observers from around the world. The Pena National Palace in Portugal is an impressive work of art built on the ruins of a monastery destroyed by lightning and an earthquake. The palace is known for its vibrant colors and romantic style that combines Gothic, Renaissance, and Manueline elements, making it one of the most important historical monuments in the country. The Battle of the Oranges in Italy is a famous carnival tradition celebrated in Ivrea, where 2 groups of participants throw oranges at each other. This festival, which has roots in the 11th century, represents a medieval revolt and over the years has evolved into an event full of enthusiasm, color, and citrus scent in every corner of the main square. In the United Arab Emirates, there is the largest Hummer in the world, measuring 46 feet long and more than 21 feet tall. It was built for a private collector and requires special permits to drive on roads because of its extreme dimensions. This astonishing automotive curiosity reflects how luxury and exaggeration can unite in a single, monumental machine. Bees have such a sharp sense of smell that they can detect bombs, helping identify explosives in difficult locations. Through a reward system, they are trained to recognize specific vapors, becoming an invaluable tool for public safety. This innovative use of nature demonstrates how technology can combine with animal abilities to protect communities. When you lose 22 pounds of fat, you exhale about 18.5 pounds through your mouth in the form of carbon dioxide when breathing. The remaining 3.5 pounds become water that you eliminate by urinating or sweating. People think fat turns into energy or muscle, but your fat literally disappears into the air with every breath. The Andean cock of the rock looks like a bright orange alien with a giant feather disc covering its beak. Its mating ritual is a dance battle. Dozens of males gather in a clearing in the forest, clean the ground, and perform frantic choreographies while the female watches from a branch like a television judge choosing the winner. Modern laser printers secretly print an invisible grid of tiny yellow dots across every page called the machine identification code. This code contains the exact serial number of your printer and the date and time the document was printed. It is a technology used by the FBI to track counterfeiters. Frozen vegetables from supermarkets are actually more nutritious than fresh ones. Fresh spinach spends days inside trucks, losing up to 50% of its vitamin C before reaching your refrigerator. Frozen vegetables, however, undergo rapid freezing only 3 hours after being picked from the ground. The mongoose has genetically mutated nerve receptors that make it immune to cobra venom. If a cobra bites and injects its deadly neurotoxin, the venom literally bounces off the mongoose's cells without effect. It is as if the snake injected water, allowing the mongoose to attack king cobras without fear. The Lærdal Tunnel in Norway stretches almost 15 miles and takes about 20 minutes to cross. Engineers built 3 enormous caverns inside the tunnel and illuminated them with powerful blue and yellow lights, so the driver's brain believes it is seeing a sunrise, resetting attention and keeping drivers awake. Using a commercial leaf blower for just 30 minutes emits the same amount of toxic gases as driving a van from Texas to Alaska, more than 3,700 miles. These machines use a 2-stroke engine without filters, turning them into a true environmental disaster disguised as a gardening tool. CAPTCHA knows you are human because your hands shake slightly. When you check the box that says, "I am not a robot," the system does not care about the click itself. What it secretly analyzes is the movement of your mouse during the previous second. A robot moves the cursor in a mathematically perfect line, but humans have imperceptible micro-tremors that act as our biological signature. In Sagada, Philippines, elderly people carve their own coffins before dying. When they pass away, their families hang the coffins on the side of cliffs or on cave balconies. They believe that the higher the body is placed, the closer the soul will be to its ancestors, creating a gravity-defying landscape of hanging coffins. If you eat a small red berry called Syncephalum dulcificum, its miraculin protein attaches itself to your sweet taste receptors. For the next hour, everything acidic you eat will taste sweet. You can bite into a lemon as if it were a sweet orange or drink vinegar as though it were syrup. It is a complete chemical trick played on the brain. The largest tire manufacturer in the world is not Michelin, it is Lego. By sheer production volume, they manufacture more than 300 million tiny rubber tires every year for toy cars, greatly surpassing the combined industrial production of all real vehicle tire brands. In the Peruvian Amazon, there is a river called Shanay Timpishka, whose waters reach 201 degrees Fahrenheit, even though there is no active volcano nearby to explain the heat. If an animal such as a frog or bird falls into the water, its eyes cook within seconds and it dies boiled from the inside out. Statistically, you are much more likely to die crushed by a soda vending machine than attacked by a shark. People get angry and shake the machine to make the food fall, and the tons of weight collapse on top of them. Sharks are not naturally aggressive toward humans the way movies make us believe. The island of St. Helena in the Atlantic Ocean is more than 600 miles from any coastline. Napoleon was exiled there because escaping is impossible. If you escape, there is nowhere to go, only ocean in every direction for thousands of miles. It is the most remote prison in the world, surrounded by endless water. Headphones increase the bacteria in your ears 700 times in just 1 hour. The warm, humid environment inside your ears while wearing headphones is perfect for bacteria to multiply exponentially. If you share headphones with someone, you transfer billions of bacteria directly into their ears. Palm oil is found in 50% of supermarket products, from cookies and chocolate to shampoo and toothpaste. It is the cheapest oil to produce, but rainforests are massively deforested to grow it. It is hidden under more than 200 different names on product labels. The sloth has the slowest metabolism in the world, and its leaf-based diet provides so little energy that a single meal can take up to 2 weeks to pass through its digestive system. It only climbs down from the tree once a week to defecate, which is the moment when it is most vulnerable to predators. Cuttlefish can change the color and texture of their skin in less than 1 second. During a fight, they can display aggressive stripe patterns toward a rival on one side of their body, while keeping a calm color on the other side to avoid attracting predators. They are masters of two-faced visual communication. Reindeer eyes change color with the seasons. In summer, when there is plenty of light, their eyes are golden. In winter, after months of Arctic darkness, they turn deep blue. This change helps them capture more light and see predators better in the polar twilight. Since Pluto was discovered in 1930 until today, it still has not completed a single orbit around the Sunday. It takes 248 Earth years to make one complete revolution. Its first full orbit since discovery will not happen until the year 2178. Helium is the only element on Earth that is completely irreplaceable. Once it escapes from a balloon, it rises to the edge of the atmosphere and is lost forever into space. And with that, we reach the end of this video. Leave a like, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss a single fun fact. Share this video with someone who loves learning new things. They will thank you for it. See you in the next video.